Theodore Robert Bundy, you are charged. Indictment, 2 counts burglary, 2 counts murder in the first degree, 3 counts attempted murder in the first degree.
I think most humans have in them the capacity to commit murder. They choose not to, not because they are morally superior as they so commonly claim, but because they are imprisoned in a web of responsibilities, commitments, beliefs, and sentiments.
Richard.
And that would render murder an absurd gamble or ridiculous self-destruction.
It is that crime of the month. Thank you, Leon, for the intro.
I'm happy to do it. Hope folks enjoyed it, and hope that you enjoyed it, because yeah, I was very nervous about whether that would come out good or not.
I wasn't expecting you to make yourself like as part of the case file, though.
I was trying to go for that like deranged serial killer sort of vibe, and like I was trying to make you look more like either a detective or victim, something to that effect. So and me be the killer.
It caught me off guard, though. It was awesome. We have a lot of people in here already. Hell yeah. Hello, everybody.
Mad congrats. Thanks everyone for showing up. That's a great confidence and self-esteem boost.
And you're just coming off of 2 other streams, right?
Yeah, two other streams after seeing a movie. Like it's pretty great. Been in such a good mood all day. Got to watch a movie about, killers and whatnot, but it was ghosts because it was Beetlejuice. Now we're gonna talk about actual fucking psychopaths and sociopaths and depravity, the likes of which the human mind can barely comprehend. So gonna have to switch gears a bit for this one.
A little bit. This one's a little less fun. And I know it's not like everybody's cup of tea, but it's mine and and yours. So
it's my glass of wine.
Glass of wine. Cheers. Vodka moms, wine moms. We're here for it. Got Sonia, Leonard, Boosh, and there was a somewhat of a Gooch raid, I believe. And Cellulite podcast.
Thank you so much over at Gooch's guys. That's where I was right before this. I appreciate all y'all. Love you so much. Thank you.
Beautiful. So most people have seen this guy before, at least, if they haven't actually heard the details of the case. He's been wildly popular among crazy ladies because like he's just so hot, though. I can change him.
See, they talk about how dudes want to stick their dick in crazy, but then you've got cases like these or like Ted Bundy or whatnot, where honestly, this case itself isn't even very out of the ordinary. There's nothing extraordinary about it. It's the extraordinary stuff comes from people's response to it.
Yeah. So this is the dude. He's gotten all of those face tattoos while he's been awaiting trial, which the trial just ended several weeks ago, and he just had his sentencing hearing. So, no spoiler alert, he's been sentenced to death. So we'll see about that, though, because
which they are trying to appeal because, ironically, killing people is cruel.
Too cruel. Just too.
That is the argument his attorneys made. I'm sure we'll get into it, but like the argument they made was that life is such a gift. Is it really right to snuff someone's out that we shouldn't give him the death penalty when motherfucker killed 2 innocent women? If you want to give the dude like appeal the death sentence, okay, fair enough. I disagree, but you go for the appeal. That's your job as a lawyer. But don't make the argument that killing is wrong when the dude's on trial for killing.
And that's what his supporters, and those are like signing the petition, change.org, to like save his life. It's like, but what? And they're like, well, if you put him to death, you're just no better than he is. And it's like, wait a minute. Apple to apple, eye for an eye. Let's see.
They would not be having this same sentiment if the dude looked like Jeffrey Dahmer or something. Like if the dude was fugly, they'd be like, oh yeah, no, flip that switch.
Instantly. He wouldn't have even made, like, nobody would have made a TikTok about him. Nobody would have done anything.
If the guy looked like me, they'd want him dead. But if it looked like you, they'd be like, hold on a moment here. Pretty privilege is a fucking thing.
Well, a female killer isn't, not all that common. They do exist. There's a whole series called Snapped for a reason. But it does make a little more edgy newsline. Ginger, redheaded, middle-aged mom goes on a rampage, yeah, that's gonna.
We would just assume that you drown your kids, though. That's usually what it is. When women kill, it's usually because
Ooh,
they drown their children. So
it's awful. Well, we're
at least
starting back.
dads just leave their kids. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
There's
there's
clearly one.
that.
You can always come see your kids again when they're 18 and start giving them money. Once the mom drowns them, there ain't no coming back from that.
There's some major psychosis that's happened with the moms that do unalive the children. It's pretty freaky. I just watched a true crime on one where this is kind of gross. Baby in the microwave.
Had to be like a
Yeah,
newborn then, because I mean that's
very small.
or really big microwave, I guess, one of the two.
Yeah, yeah, yikes. Anyway, so the reasons why women and men kill are typically very different, I think. Unless you get into like the jealous rage ones. Those are a little on the nose.
As a tranny, I can say from both perspectives why I would kill as a man and why I would kill as a woman.
Privilege much. Good Lord. Okay,
So
let's
the
see.
Buddha Live, this is where this all went down. This was ground zero for what's going on, and there's a bit of interesting trivia about one of about an ex of Wade Wilson's. I mean, maybe we'll get to that in a little bit, but yeah, the Buddha Live is a honestly, I kind of want to check the place out. It seems like a lot of fun.
Meet new people, totally not deranged people, go home with them, do a little coke. Like, who cares? It's fine. It's fine. So we're going back to the beginning of this case, not his criminal history, because he had been in trouble with the law for possession and battery, and he actually at one point was dating a man and ended up stabbing that guy. So
Okay, I didn't know that. Did he know it was a man?
yes,
Or was it just like surprise?
he was in a relationship. I think they said
Okay,
dating,
gotcha.
so he was aware.
So you mean like actual man, not like Neo Woman 2.0?
Not like you, no.
Yeah, not like. Okay, I walked into that. Continue.
So this is in October of 2019, Sunday, October 6th, to be specific. And Mr. Wade Wilson, and that's why he's called the Deadpool killer, because his name is actually Wade Wilson. So they've also given them the moniker of the Joker because his face tattoos, and he has like ha 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 and why so serious. Only since he went into the system though. But dude,
Now he was
did
covered
you?
in tattoos prior to that, just not on the face.
Yeah,
Like he had that OG which honestly kind of a sick neck tattoo. Looking at pictures of him before the face tattoos, I'm like, damn, dude was pretty good looking. Sucks that he's fucked in the noggin.
yeah, he's pretty crazy. So before we actually go to October 2019, so his parents were 14 and 15 years old when they had him. So a friend of the family, a family that went to church with them, at least the mother side, adopted him. They had two other kids, two girls, and we can make it a family of five. We're good. We're of the age and we're of the means to take care of another child. So they adopted him, and he didn't know or meet his dad until he was 18.
Mhm.
And then it said that he's only reached out to dad when he needs something or he needs money. So they never really connected on a really personal level. And he did testify at
Do
trial.
you have any of the footage of his dad? I imagine you got the footage of his dad for later in the show, because his dad seems completely normal, well adjusted. Yeah, he had a kid at 15, which is very out of the ordinary. But beyond that, it seems his dad's made a relatively normal life for himself, it seems. So this had to be a probably the most extraordinary thing that happened in his life, aside from having a kid at 15.
Yeah. So he was always a little odd, though. It seems he had a normal childhood, family life anyway. He was involved in sports. His adopted sisters. One of them was going to give him a haircut, and he had a hoodie on, so she asked him to take off his sweatshirt. He had actually stapled his shirt to his body. He just had staples in his body. Why? Teenagers are weird, but why?
I mean, I don't know. Back in the day, I remember this was one time. It was around Halloween when I was in 7th grade. And when you're that age, you do a lot of stupid shit. And a buddy I was hanging out with at the time, we digging through the garage and found a staple gun. And he was like, "Yo, I dare you to staple gun your leg, and and just see how many times you can do it before you cry out or stop reports." Or I was like, "Bet." And I like kids do dumb shit to impress their friends or to have fun. At least guys do. I assume women do as well. But was he doing it? I mean, I assume we'll never know. But was he just deranged and thought, I'm going to staple my shirt to my chest? Or was maybe he hanging out with his boys and they were just playing some shenanigans and shirt got stapled to chest? I mean, I could see it going either way, but I lean towards he's crazy because he would later go on to, savagely murder 2 individuals.
Yeah, and I honestly think it was going to be 3 that day. I think he was planning on going
Yes,
for the 3rd.
I agree.
So they did bring up in trial too that early on, because he was in sports, he had several concussions and he was in a car accident where his car hit a tree. So they're trying to say that, like, allude to the fact maybe there's some brain damage or something, knocked loose in there or something. But yeah, they tried to use that. It didn't work.
It was not only did that, because it is true that he had multiple concussions. It's true, but like he had sustained blows to the head. However, there was exhaustive tests ran on his gray matter, and he came back kind of fit as a fiddle. Like it just didn't matter how many concussions he had. He was the brain scans, the MRIs, the whole line came back completely clean.
I had heard on one podcast that they actually only did CT scans. They didn't do full MRI.
Oh, that's interesting because I'd heard both CT scans and MRI, but maybe they were going to do an MRI and they just opted not to. I'm not sure. I could have my info wrong there, but
yeah, you got to cross-reference and cross-check and all the things. And I've listened to a few different versions of it, and of course the articles and the trial clips here and there. I didn't watch this entire trial. I just caught little bits here and there. But yeah, interesting choices. So he had the opportunity because his attorneys are like, look at this guy. Look at him. He's got swastikas. He's got all the things, right, that he didn't have when he first went in. They petitioned the court to allow them to put on makeup, give him a haircut, clean him up a bit, and it was approved.
Mm-hmm.
Dude went into court with a heavy fade, so you can see all of the swastikas even more, even better.
It's so wild to me that had to be a decision that his attorneys were like, "Hey, we are begging you, please cover this up," because their argument makes sense. You will get a prejudiced jury that sees the tattoos. Like, there's this stand-up comedian named Dan Cummins, and he has one of my favorite bits of all time, and it is about being summoned to jury duty, and he's wanting to get out of it, and they're talking about how the criminal, or the alleged criminal, innocent until proven guilty,
Allegedly
has gang tattoos all over his face, and so the comedian is like, yeah, he's guilty. What do you mean he's guilty? Look at his face. Like, that's some people look at that and they assume, dude, if Mike Tyson wasn't a professional boxer and you look at him on the street, you probably assume he's raped a couple gals. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he told me he did. I guess that counts as the same thing.
I'm just, face tattoos are a dead giveaway for you are so fucking stupid. You have probably broken laws intentionally.
Oh yeah, it's implied. You have a rap sheet. You have face tattoos. You have a rap sheet. I do not like how they're trying to make face tattoos fashionable in movies and whatnot, like what they did with the Crow's image.
I mean, they're trying, but maybe I'm just old fashioned. I don't think they're doing any sort of success. I can kind of understand neck tattoos. That's pushing it, but also, man, Cody Rhodes got a sexy AF. Yes, I know he actually did, but I'm saying if he wasn't famous, there'd be no question. People wouldn't have forgiven him for it, is what I should be saying. But look, neck tattoos. Some people got some cool ones. I understand, but dude, on the face, like that.
Especially if you have attractive features, don't mess it up. Like, leave it alone. Leave the face alone. But yeah, he
looks like he looks like every sort of like high school jock that would have gone pro if not for their bum knee and just coasted after high school. And he couldn't even keep that going for him. He had to fuck it up with getting swastikas all over his face. I get it's probably rough on the inside, but join the gang, get it on your fucking forearm or something.
Sure. I did. This guy also has 2 children when this happens. He had already had 2 kids. Well, baby mamas or whatever. But yeah, he was a full parent. He was 25 in 2019 when all of this took place. So one Sunday night, it was about 10:30 or so, his girlfriend, who is actually kind of a POS, I think, in my opinion. I
I
mean,
agree. There's no winners in this scenario.
no, I mean, was openly using. She was apparently using. Um, Lots of people were using in this this whole Buddha bar. Um,
And
so
look, no judgment. I've done my fair
no
share of
judgment,
illicit
sure.
substances and whatnot, but you do them responsibly, and when you do them, don't fucking kill people.
All I'm saying is he had a known background of violence and abusive behaviors, been in jail for it before, like kidnapped and SA'd one of his exes, like literally kidnapped, like tie you up, throw you in the
But
trunk
Mox,
kind of
she
a
could
thing.
fix him.
She, yeah, I guess
That was, but
she wasn't
have
good
you seen
enough.
the body cam footage of the because I could be wrong, but the body cam footage from the initial arrest from or the initial call that his ex did the following morning when it was
Mm.
only released like 2 days ago or something. It's
No
very recent
way.
it's very recent body cam footage, and I was watching it, and that's literally what she doesn't say the words verbatim. I could fix him, but she acknowledges to the police, oh, he's freshly out of jail. We've only been dating for, about 5 to 6 months. I'm giving him a second chance because he's got potential. He can be a good person, but I know he's got a violent history. Like, she's got that I can fix him mentality. So I don't feel sorry for her. I'm glad she didn't get killed.
Sure,
No one
of course.
deserves that. By the same token, I don't feel sorry for you if you're taking someone that has been in jail for the crimes of assault, for battery, for sexual, abuse, and you're saying I'm going to give you another chance. No, first of all, you shouldn't even give them the first chance, but you definitely don't give them a second chance. Fool me twice, honey.
Right. I agree, 100. So back to the Buddha bar. Buddha bar. Where'd it go? Photos. There we are. This place. 10:30 on a Sunday night, right? They're going out for drinks. Her friend Amy, best old friend. They don't see each other all that often, but when they do, it's like no time has passed. We're like one of those kind of friends. And so they're like drinking and dancing and stuff, and everything's fine. Apparently the place was packed on a Sunday night, go figure. And he ended up, meeting other people. He met this guy named Jason. He met this woman named Christine and her friend Stephanie. And it got to be like 2 in the morning, and he wanted to go to Jason's house because closing time, I guess, around there. He wanted to go to Jason's house and do some snow. And Mila, she wanted to go home. So they got in a huge fight. And then oh, forgot to mention, they drove her Dodge Hellcat there. Important to mention for some reason, it's $80,000 car.
Okay,
So
because Mila's a successful business owner. I
yeah,
mean, she's a drug user who's doing it right. She's still getting up. She's still running her business. She's still taking clients and whatnot. I mean, look, if you're gonna abuse drugs, be an adult about it. So to her credit, she's doing well, or was.
so yeah, she had that car, and he just gets in it and drives away, ditches her there. Well, unbeknownst to her at the time, he had already talked to Christine, friend Stephanie, and new bestie Jason, introducing himself as Junior. So they didn't even know his real name. So when he comes up to Christine and Stephanie with boy Jason, they think they know each other. They think Jason and Junior are friends. So when Junior, Wade, suggests, hey, let's go to Jason's house and, do some after partying, they decide, yes, we want to do that. That was when, like tangentially, Mila was like, I want to go home. So Jason, new bestie, friend Stephanie and Christine, and Junior, aka Wade, get in the Hellcat and drive away. Interesting part is it wasn't Wade that was driving, it was Jason, because Wade couldn't drive a stick. So
I didn't know that was the reason. That's the first great bit of trivia. I did not know that was the reason. As someone that drives a stick, I already got a leg up on this guy. Feels good. I also haven't murdered 2 women, so I've murdered 3.
Oh no. Cut. Oh no, don't do that either. So this is Mila. I guess I should have shown the characters here. So Mila, and this is Wade back in the day. He still had all of his teeth. For some reason, and I don't know where it happens, but tonight, I believe, is the night where he loses his teeth. Because if you see him in any of the trial coverage, dude's got fucked up face if he opens his mouth. So
have you? I assume you've listened to the audio logs of like his phone calls from prison and whatnot.
some of them,
I
yeah.
don't. I don't know if he sounds retarded because he's lost his teeth, or if he's just always taught like a hood rat thug, like maybe a little column A, a little column B. But
Well,
here,
people have
you know,
said he was charismatic, and he was. So I think that was post, either having his girl messed up or prison time, or jail time.
soon to be prison time, baby.
Yep, somebody's gonna be clapping them cheeks. But he swings both ways. So this is probably an older picture, but this on the left is Christine, victim A, and then her friend Stephanie that were at the Buddha bar that night. They went back with Junior and Jason. Awkward thing is they get there about 2:30 in the morning. Jason apparently still lives with his mom. He's in his early 20s, and Mama is not happy that there's a whole group of people in her living room acting stupid, right? So it's awkward. They go back to Jason's room, which is in the back of this big house, and it has doors exiting to the backyard. So they all migrate that way. And pretty quickly, Junior and the Blondie start getting hot and heavy, right? Stephanie and Jason are like, okay, we're just going to exit and hang out in the backyard. At some point, I think it was probably
They're getting hot and heavy, but now Wade claims he did not sleep with her, that he never actually had sex with her. He just murdered when they decided to go to bed. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Was there any sort of DNA testing or anything that said one way or the other? Because I've not heard either way.
I have not heard definitively, like for medical examiner to show like there were, traces of, things. But yeah, interesting because Stephanie, I guess what it would say, and I didn't watch her testimony, but in this podcast that I had been listening to, that she had said that they were getting intimate. Now, what intimate means one person isn't necessarily the same thing to another, but at some point, Jason was pissed, and Junior tells the ladies, "This guy wants us to leave." And if I was them, I'd be like, "What do you mean, this guy? Don't you know each other?" I think it would be kind of odd, right, to hear that. So they go to get in the Hellcat that Jason drove them all in. He starts it up. It's making noise. He can't even shift it into gear. So long story
He's also
short,
probably get high off his ass and drunk as shit, only adding to his failures to be able to operate a motor vehicle.
Yes. So strike that. Go back a minute. She did not get in the car with him. She had drove her car there. And Stephanie, I believe, had her car as well. I think maybe it was just Jason and because her car was there. Maybe it was just Jason and Junior that left the club together. And then the ladies followed with their vehicles because she said, okay, we'll just go to my house. And she had her Nissan. So he went with her. Stephanie went home. And that's how we ended up at Christine's house that morning, early morning. Let's see. So early morning comes around. They're in bed together. She's asleep, and he just decides, yeah, I'm not gonna unalive you, and commences with the strangling and stuff,
Strangles her and does it now according to what we can only take what he says with a grain of salt because again,
sure.
Psycho.
He's
But
been proven to be a liar too. So
yeah. He's a known liar, but according to him, had no emotion about it, just sort of like it was in sort of a blackout phase when he did it, so didn't remember doing it. Of course, blamed it on the drugs because people like this have no sense of accountability. And now how much of that is true, we'll never know because the only parties are the liar and the dead woman. So, but yeah, that's the claim is that he doesn't even remember doing it, and that he was in a blackout state. But if that's the case, then how could you claim that you didn't have any sort of emotion or that you like? There's too many sort of conflicting points of view, even from his own lying mouth.
Exactly. So morning time rolls around. I'm not sure exactly. I don't think it was stated specifically, like as far as like an estimated time of death. An estimated time of death is usually a range anyway. So somewhere between like 5 a.m. and about 8-ish, she's gone. Mila wants her car back. She's still at Amy's house, the friend that she left with from the bar. And she keeps getting calls from some number she doesn't know. Well, apparently he couldn't find his phone. So he used oh, there she not Uda. She used Christine's phone. He took it from her, used her face post-mortem to open the phone. Took her car, and he's been trying to call Mila, get a hold of her. So she finally answers because she's like, okay, this number keeps calling me. Fine, who is it? And he's like super like hot and cold, like, I love you, we can work this out, to next time I see you, I'm gonna effing kill you. Like, I think she had him on speakerphone so her friend Amy could hear the conversation. And
completely rational and stable, you know, just
totally
normal
fine.
Conversation you have with your significant other.
It's a Monday morning. It's normal. So she's like, give me my car. And he's like, I'm on my way to you. I'm gonna bring you your car. Car's over still at Jason's house. So that's not happening. So she ends up meeting him. He meets her rather at her spa, outside of her spa. And that was probably around 10:30-ish. And he pulls up in obviously not the Hellcat, black Nissan. He's shirtless, has blood all over him, and he's demanding her to get in the car. And she says no. Well, he physically tries to pull her in to the car. Amy is sitting in her car watching all this happen, ends up calling the police. And she's trying to relay what's happening. He's crazy. He's trying to get her in the car. He's abusive and all this stuff. And
again, nothing necessarily out of the ordinary, by the way. Aside from the fact that he's just murdered somebody, like going off of
nobody knows that though.
Right. Like in terms of calls that police get and whatnot, just seems like a regular domestic disturbance. Which, you know, are some of the most intense calls that an officer can be called on. So this just seems regular run of the mill thus far. So I don't know how. Obviously, any sort of domestic violence situation is a big deal. But by the same token, how I know the response probably from the officers would have been vastly different were there the prior knowledge of there's a dead bitch just a few miles away.
Yeah. But wait, there's more. Oh my. So what she does to avoid him folding her up to get through he was pulling her through the window. It wasn't even like trying to like push her into the car door, through the door area. He was trying to pull her through the car driver's side window. And I guess it's been described that she like straightened her whole body up straight, like planking.
Yeah, she planked. Yep.
Yeah. So he couldn't pull her in. But then she like, got away enough to where he just gets out of the car, didn't put it in park, so it starts rolling. He reaches in quickly, like pulls the parking brake, follows her into the spa.
Not before the car grazes both of them, though, from Mila's account.
That's true. So he gets her inside the spa, and there's
a whole bad day. Not only does your fucking boyfriend is sitting there trying to beat the shit out of you, possibly murder you, but you also got hit by a car. Like,
yeah,
not top tier Monday. I know people don't like Mondays in general, but this one's even Garfield be blushing.
That's a pretty bad case of the Mondays. But yeah, the whole knockdown drag out fight, and he punches her in the nose, shatters her nose, blood's everywhere. And
okay, so this is where the police footage I was telling you, the body cam footage I was telling you about comes into play. That was just released. It is from immediately following this after he has fled the scene. She is still fucking gushing, and like you can tell, some time has passed because the time for the cops to get there and whatnot. For whatever reason, she is shirtless when they arrive. She's only got like a towel around.
Because he was pulling her clothes off of her trying to get her in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so she's like covered up with like a blanket or a towel or something. Blood just coming out her nose. She's got stuff trying to tell. So the officers, of course, they send her into the spa here to put on a different. So she puts on just some big baggy shirt, comes back out, and the officers don't want anyone in the building for whatever reason. They never really explain why, or if they do, there's certain parts where the audio cuts out because of confidential information and whatnot. But so they're having to conduct the whole investigation and interview and whatnot outside. And it is like 20 minutes into the footage before finally her nose starts seeming to be done bleeding. It's actually insane. Yeah, well, the footage from the you're talking about the body cam footage, Professor Dad. I would say yes, because it is almost an hour and 20 minutes of being uninterrupted.
Mm. Yeah, when you first said the body cam footage, I was still thinking the Crab Shack footage because that's been out for a while. I haven't seen the one that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, no, this is actually, yeah,
Check that
no,
out.
this is the police body cam footage from the 2 or 3 officers that were on scene. I don't, because
Mm,
basically there's multiple crimes going on. There's the savage beating and breaking of Mila's face, but also the hit and run that happened. It is considered a hit and run because of the damage that was done to the property when he left when he didn't put the car in park. It hit either another building or other vehicles. I don't remember which. So
uh,
there's other individuals who are not involved whatsoever aside from their property was fucked up. So they're being interviewed by the police. So you've got 2 different officers that are interviewing 2 different sets of people. They're considering it technically 2 different crimes, the domestic assault and then the hit and run. It's really interesting footage.
and then after this, he leaves before. Well, some have said that he was kind of like taken aback when all of the the explosion of the nose happened. It was just enough for her to like slip under his arm. He's 6'6", by the way. He's
And she's like
huge.
5'4" or something.
No,
She's
5'2", even tinier.
5'2", so even tinier. Yeah.
Yeah. So could you imagine the damage with how big the fist comparison would be? Good grief. But yeah, she was able to slip away, get out. There's probably sirens in the distance, but he was able to flee the scene before they got there, and then said interview that you're talking about. So I'll have to check that out. From
I would
there,
I would have sent it to you if I realized that it wasn't that you didn't have it. I'm sorry. I didn't even think I was enthralled watching it. Yes, and by the time I watched it yesterday, it said the footage was only released the day before that, so it's only been out for like 2 days. I should have sent it to you. I'm
okay.
sorry.
Oh, fine. Just a fail. Set me up to fail here. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Okay, so leave the spa. From there, okay.
Texas Beast. The Deadpool connection is simply because he shares the same name as Deadpool. Like his real name is Wade Wilson, same as Deadpool in the comics. So that's why they're calling him the Deadpool killer. They share a name, which to be fair, not exactly a common name. So and all interesting killers get some sort of moniker. But yeah, that's the only connection. Sorry, someone in the chat was asking.
Oh no, thank you. This is your show too. So from there, he leaves. He does things in the interim, but she calls him up, and it's probably around 10:30-ish. So an hour or so has passed since the incident at the spa, and she convinces him to meet up with her at the Crab Shack. And he goes. I believe they had, oops, wrong ones. So Crab Shack. I believe they had an very roller coaster.
Side note, if you've never
type
been
of,
to a
like,
Joe's Crab Shack, don't go. Some of the worst dining experiences I've ever fucking had was at Joe's Crab Shack. Fuck Joe's Crab Shack. They should also be on trial. It's completely different shit, but they should also be on trial. Fuck Joe's Crab Shack. Continue.
right to hell. Never been to one. I don't like crab. Dax and I are throwing up crabs in the chat. So she's like, "Oh, baby, I want to meet you. I'm sorry." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll meet you over at Joe's Crab Shack."
And to anyone rational, you would think, oh, bitch called the cops. This is a setup. But no, homie is so narcissistic. He's like, I have this woman wrapped around my finger. She will be so lost without me. She's nothing without me. Of course she wants to
Mhm.
come back. I can abuse her all I want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm in control. She is. So yeah, he completely buys hook, line, and sinker that she wants to meet up with him after he has gone full Hulk smash on her nostril cavities. Like,
Mhm. Let's see. Actually, so when he gets there, there's a cop car. Only one though. And that was like, but at the same time, to be fair, it was a domestic physical fight. She was fine.
see,
They're
I'm
trying to
calling
catch her.
bullshit on that. That is a failure on the police side. Any
I think so.
domestic disturbances, there should always be 2 officers.
Yeah. I was thinking 2 units, not 2 officers. Anyway, I agree. 2 guys, not women. I'm not a fan of female cops. I'm sorry. Uh, but
I'm not
yeah,
either. I got some experience, so
they
on
were
both
the
sides.
worst. They were the worst to work with. And I mean, I wasn't a fan of a lot of the male ones, but the women just seemed like they were trying to prove themselves all the time and one up the boys and like keep
Uh,
up with the boys. And I'm like,
After my experience in the police academy, I'm not exactly a fan of cops in general. So just not a fan.
not a fan. And so he pulls up, cops there waiting for him. One, I thought maybe there was at least another officer in the unit, but it appears to just be one officer.
No, there was one, and he called for so this officer did have a partner, but for whatever reason they were separated. Why, I don't know. You're not really traditionally supposed to do that, but then again, it's Florida, and Florida's fucking weird. I can only speak off of the laws where and rules where I'm at. But yeah, so he has a partner, but his partner's not with him. He radios his partner to come to come help him with the arrest. So the officer just says, hey, you're being detained. This is not an arrest. I'm detaining you. Stay here in the car. We're waiting for my partner to show up. Why the fuck was your partner not there? Again, this is this section of the story is an egregious failure on the cop side. And because of that, why don't you go ahead and I'm sure you're about to get what happened next.
Play on, play it.
Copy, I'm 1012. I'll explain to you when my partner gets here, okay? Yeah. About this morning.
His teeth look messed up.
I mean, to me, just like a regular guy from Florida.
I mean, doesn't it look bloody to you?
Oh, no. It does. Again, regular guy from Florida.
Oh,
look,
buzzing.
He either got punched in the face by a barmaid or he got punched in the face by or jacked in the mouth by an alligator. Either way, shit goes down in Florida. I don't even question it when I see Florida folks just walking around.
Sorry, Leonard.
Say again?
Can I call my girlfriend on your phone, please?
Yeah, I can do that, but I'm just waiting for my partner to get here. Yeah, absolutely. And here's what's going to happen. Is the car running? Shut the car off for me. It's off. I'm going to detain you until I figure out what exactly is going on.
Sorry, Fondon. I'm sure you're a very nice
You don't any trouble for me because you're on probation, okay? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to have you step out of the car.
Yeah, he had only been out of jail for what, a few weeks?
Yeah, he'd been out of jail. So he'd been dating Mila for 5 or 6 months. Half of which was like during his so prior to prison or jail, I mean, and then he was in jail. She'd split up with him, and while he was in jail or right after getting out is when she was like, "Oh, I'll give you a second chance," this, that, and the other. So he's on probation now. By this point, the prior body cam footage from the Mila spa showed that one of the officers was in the process of contacting his probation officer. So his probation officer already knows what's gone down.
Roger. Okay. Thank you.
And I'm going to detain you, not arrest, detain you right now. Okay? And I can't have any problems. You understand me? All right.
Fucking shook his hand. Do you understand me?
What's
no.
that?
No.
There are smart serial killers, killers out there, smart criminals out there, and I love learning about smart killers. Fucking H.H. Holmes, Ted Bundy, like it's amazing the way the criminal mastermind brain works. Then you got dipshits like this that are so masterfully stupid. It's almost an art form. If it weren't for 2 dead bodies, I would say this was art.
I will. I give you my word. No. I have to detain you. By our procedures, I have to detain you. Because of the battery this morning. There wasn't any battery? Okay.
Moxie, would you call busting open your partner's nose battery?
A little bit.
I
would say more than battery.
Tough love.
A top left.
I will. No. Just relax. Let me see the keys to the car. Let me see the keys to the car. Keys.
What is keys?
Keys.
Now, to be fair, I could be wrong on this. Feel free to correct me in the comments, or it could be again, difference in state laws and whatnot. I do not think he legally does have to give the keys over. Now, it is obviously in his best interest to follow the requests of the officer, but I don't think he actually does have to give the keys over.
Well, he is technically detained now, right? He's not free to go.
Right.
So in that, you have to comply with turning over the property, especially if you're in control of a motor vehicle, which it could also be a weapon, and actually it was a weapon.
Maybe it's just I live in a very Midwestern red state, and you do not have to turn over personal property during a detainment. Now if there's probable cause for search and whatnot, officers can forcibly confiscate, but here he's just asking, "Yo, can I have the keys?" Dude says no. In my state, the officer would be like, "Okay, anything goes south, I'm getting physical with your ass." But again, it could just be a different statewide thing.
I don't think it's one of those commands though that would warrant like adding on
No, I don't think so
resisting charge. I don't think it's that level, but interesting to look that one up.
Wait, we're not going to have any problems. Just give me the keys to the car.
Nope.
Wade.
Sir, I didn't do anything. Look at me.
Oof. Bloody rough.
Okay. All right. Just wait till my partner gets here. L41. Gonna need a couple more units. Don't go anywhere. Hey.
And this is why there should have been his partner should have been with him. That this situation could have been avoided right here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. He's in his car. He's attempting to take off.
I'm pretty sure he's just taken off. I don't think he's attempting.
Yeah. So Johnny Boy Richard, he seems like he's probably lives in a state with similar rules to mine. You have rights up until the arrest. That's when you're awarded the state. Detainment, you still have your constitutional rights, so you cannot have any personal property seized. But again, that's just where I'm at. I don't know. Florida might be different, and other states are obviously going to be different. So,
for sure. All right, so he motors off, and where does he go next? He goes to the print shop, of course.
Look, it was either going to be that or a tattoo parlor. Like, you just flip a fucking coin.
And so he's on surveillance footage going into the print shop. Apparently, there was a mutual friend of Mila's that worked there. The dude, Josh, he said that they weren't close by any means. He barely knew the guy. And this is him right here. But he had heard about them having a fight the night before. I guess it got around that they had a knockdown, drag out, not physically, but just verbally at that point at the Buddha bar. So he had heard about it. He's like, what's going on? He walks in the print shop. People are trying to avoid eye contact with him. He's looking pretty suspicious, but it is Florida. Who knows? Maybe they see this all the time. But yeah, shirtless, got blood on him, and he's looking pretty weird. So Mr. Josh print shop guy, he's like, what's going on? And he just full on says, I unalive people. I need help. I need you to help me. And he's like, no, go F yourself.
Give me like 30 seconds if you'd be so kind. Okay. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Let's say hi to you guys. I've been neglecting you because I am a mess today and I was scrambling to get my links and all that stuff together. And then Leonard, the gem, my mod, he was like, hey, what's up with Rumble? So I did a stupid. And I think actually, you know what? Rumble did a stupid first. So with Rumble, you can only schedule a stream 24 hours ahead. So I wanted to get on top of it yesterday and stream it or schedule it yesterday so I wouldn't forget. And then today I was supposed to edit the time beforehand. So I didn't remember that. And so it was a dead link. And so that it was like, what, 12 minutes till? I'm like, I'm a mess. But I don't need to be neglecting you. Hi, everybody. I've been to our Dark Water. And Boosh, Adam Rabeel, Scott, Yamato 85. Thanks for hanging out for the true crime stuff. I know it's not palatable for everybody, but I don't even
Well,
think
that's
Sonya's
why
here.
I'm here. I'm gonna be real, guys. Moxie is the expert, and I'm just the comic relief, the court jester, shall we say, to try and make this true crime stuff more palatable. Because laughter is the best medicine. I can't bring the dead back, but it can do much. It can do a lot of other things.
What Leon said. Notice me, senpai. Hey, Jeremiah Maxwell. Sonia. Why am I a jerk? No, I said that Sonia doesn't like the gruesome stuff, so I wasn't sure if she would be like totally down. But she said she was excited for the stream beforehand. So
just wait till we get to Albert Fish one of these days, then.
Oh my. Oh, we left off at the print shop. It's good. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Homie just leaves the car there. He walks off. Where does he go? Do you remember where he went?
Well, his claim was that he was going to the bus station. He was going to try and catch a bus out of town. I don't know if that's where he actually went, but that's what his initial goal was that he was going to try and Greyhound it out.
Okay, that makes sense, because that's what he was asking this dude to help him with getting out of town. So I don't know how he gets there, but he finds his way to a home that's vacant, and he calls his dad. The dad that he only calls when he needs something, and he just tells him, I unalive 2 people. I need help getting out of town. I need money. I need the means to get out. And the dad, he didn't think about it too long, but he did mention that there was like kind of just the one thought of, this is my kid. Wait a second.
Yeah.
What if these were my daughters, my wife, my sister? No.
Do you have the footage of the dad explaining on trial, what was going down here?
Testimony?
The testimony.
Let me see. I thought I had it. Oh,
if you do, I think we should play it, because it is honestly kind of heartbreaking. Obviously, he and his son didn't have much of a relationship, given the fact that there was the age difference. He was put up for adoption. Son only called him when he needed him. But even there's still such a sense of familial protection there that it's hard to listen to the dad talk about this, because he's candid, and he knows he made the right call, and it didn't take him long to make the right call. But when he talks about that moment of hesitation of should I help him just because he's my kin, it's rough, dude. In the interim, while she's searching for that, sorry, what was that going?
Oh, sorry, my Google Chrome has been bugging out lately with StreamYard.
While you're searching for that, I'll go ahead and address the chat for a little bit. The classic one, that is Hondo. Hondo is amazing. He's adorable. He's very well trained, and he is the true star of the show. Of course, after Moxie, the hierarchy is Moxie, Hondo, then your boy here. Gooch in the house. How you doing, mother? How you doing, brother? I appreciate you being here. Let's see. What's anyone got to say? Get some Cracker Jack tats. I mean, he would definitely get some tats for crackers in the pin, but not the kind we're thinking. The guy is a fucking joke. Yes, he did call his dad Jeremiah Maxwell. That is correct. And his biological father, not his adopted father, who I don't know. We never really hear. We know he was adopted, but most of the commentary is about his adopted mother, not father. So I don't really know if he's even still in the picture or what. That could just be something that I'm missing out on.
I'm not sure if it was just the mom who wrote the letter, appealing to the judge for not getting him the death penalty. But the adopted parents did write a letter. At least one of them did.
Which is so wild to me. Also, cop on the right there looks like Nick Rekieta. Just throwing that out there. That's Nick if he never touched coke.
I was thinking it. You said it. Thank you.
There's nothing I won't say, girly. Aside from anything that would get your channel shut down. I won't go that far. We'll save that for my shows.
Okay, so this is dad's bio dad's testimony. And again, he had only known him for 7 years. It's pretty crazy.
All right, sir, if you
Biological
just face
dad,
the
like,
clerk,
look,
raise your right
he's
hand.
the-
She'll swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the
Bio
truth,
dad's
the
what?
whole truth, and nothing
I was
but
gonna say
the
he's
truth?
such a normal looking guy. I mean, he looks
Mhm.
like the dude from Pawn Stars or something. Like,
Yeah. His attorney, when Wade walks into court first day, the look that he gives him, he gives him a look over up and down, and then he just like shakes his head. He's just like, this motherfucker.
dude, is this a? I imagine this is a state provided attorney, correct?
I would imagine so.
Because there's no way homie is affording a lawyer. This is gonna come off sounding incredibly harsh, but look, state as someone who's been through some shenanigans with the legal system, look, state ran attorneys are they're shit. Like they're awful. They do not care if they lose the case. I don't care what strings you gotta pull, dude. If you ever in a situation where you're in court, get yourself a legit fucking attorney. That's my
Also,
advice to you guys in the chat. Whether you're going through whether you're gonna kill someone or you're just trying to get out of a speeding ticket, get yourself a legit fucking attorney.
don't talk to cops.
That's
First
a big
rule.
one.
Don't talk to cops. Don't confess to multiple people, including cops, that you did a thing, and then go, yeah, I'm pleading innocent. What?
Yeah.
You dumbass.
Anyway, yeah. Let's continue.
Let's play on.
You may proceed.
Good morning. Please state your name for the record.
Steven Testaseca.
Mr. Testaseca, where are you employed?
I'm self-employed.
What type of work do you do?
Window and door replacement.
Are you married?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your wife's name?
Melanie.
Do you live in Fort Myers?
No, ma'am.
What city do you live in?
Lakeland.
Bad joke. Does she call people the F word on the internet? Melanie. Sorry.
About how far is Lakeland from Fort Myers?
2 hours.
How old are you, sir?
46.
You know someone by the name of Wade Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
Dax,
You
don't
know
jump the
Wade
gun
Wilson.
on us. Don't jump the
He's
gun on us,
myself.
motherfucker. We'll get to the pasta.
Hmm.
How old were you when you found out you were going to be his father?
14 or 15.
How old was his mother at the time?
A year younger than me.
Oof.
Now, were either of you in a position at that age to be able to raise him?
No, ma'am.
Was he placed up for adoption?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was he adopted by?
Candy and Steve Wilson.
And did they have any connection to you or Wade Wilson's mother?
You mean?
Like how did they
Oh,
how were they known?
they went to church with Wade's mother's parents.
So that was how they connected and ended up raising Wade Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do they have any other children?
Yes, ma'am. 2 daughters.
And have you spoken with them on numerous occasions?
I've spoken with Candy.
And that's his adoptive mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, at some point, did you and Wade Wilson connect?
Yes, ma'am.
How old was Wade Wilson when he connected with you?
18.
And was he wanting to connect with you because you're his biological father?
Yes.
And up until that point, had you ever met him?
No, ma'am.
Did you end up attempting to have a relationship with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he seem to want to have a relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you have phone calls often?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have occasions where you would see each other?
No. I went up and visited him one time in Tallahassee.
Okay. Now, did he often ask you for money?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your relationship turn into a situation where he was just asking for your help?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to turn your attention to Monday, October 7th of 2019. Did Wade Wilson get in touch with you through?
Again, why he's also called the Joker. He's got why so serious with the thing. And they've also pointed to the NMM as a reference to Deadpool as well. Have you heard about
I
that?
see. I said nature's magical mystery.
Okay,
I don't. I just made that up on the spot. I got no fucking idea
Sure.
what it means, honestly.
let's go with it.
Phone call that day.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was it that he told you when he called?
The first time he said he needed help. He had done something that he couldn't take back.
Did he indicate that he and his girl had gotten into an argument?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was his girl that you were aware of at the time?
I just knew her as Mila.
And did it seem that he wanted your help because of this argument?
Yes, ma'am.
When he called you, were you actually at work?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to really give your attention and time to him to try to help him at that point?
No, ma'am.
So what did you tell him when he was asking for your help?
I just told him to call me back around dinner time. I'd be done working and we'd figure it out.
And did you at some point have a conversation with your wife about him getting in touch with you wanting your help?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, during the time that he was supposed to call, about what time was he supposed to call back?
I told him around dinner time.
Now, between the time he first called that day and dinner time, did you receive a call from a detective?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that detective looking for your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when the detective was looking for your son, did you have any idea at that point of what had happened?
No, ma'am.
Did the detective want you to try to help them get in touch with your son?
She just gave me a number and said, if he calls you back, we need to talk to him.
Thank you, sir.
Now,
It's on the right channel this time.
did he end up calling you later that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he tell you in that call that evening?
The final call?
Nope, the call before the final call.
He just told me, he did something. There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer. I just told him to call me back. I just thought it was another story,
So at this point, when he says that there were 2 people that wouldn't be with us and that he was a killer, did you put a lot of weight into that?
No, ma'am.
Do you think he was just telling you a story?
He's a good storyteller.
So did he then
Right there,
call you
that
back a
line
third
from his
time?
father,
Yes,
that was such a genuine dad answer. Like, he's been so you look at this dude. Imagine running into him in public. He seems like he's kind of a hard guy. I mean, like, he's well built. He's got some shoulders, got the bald head. Rocking the full Bruce Willis. His ears are pierced. He installs windows and doors, but he sounds so demure. Like, it is. This is probably, in a weird way, my favorite piece of this story. It comes like all the court hearings and whatnot that you can listen to. It is this testimony right here, because this is a you can hear the I don't know, pain's the right word, but whatever it is in his voice, you can hear it. I guarantee you this is not what the dude sounds like at Thanksgiving dinner. It's heartbreaking.
And I know he didn't know him for a long time, but still there's a connection there. And it's like, when your child does something, you feel the disappointment, and it's a combination of hurt, anger, shame. It's a complicated mess, right? And he does seem genuinely, like, personally hurt by his son doing this thing, right? I don't
Well,
know.
and he either has already said it, or maybe he goes on to say that he has a wife, and like he also has children of his own now. And this is obviously just pure speculation, but there's probably if it were me, I'd be like, fuck, is this in me? Is this somehow partly my fault?
Right.
Like, how much of this is eating him alive, because not only is it his own son, but it's his son that he probably feels like he failed because of his own mistakes. It is.
Maybe if
this
I were
part is
there
hard.
for him.
Right.
Yeah. Let's play on.
Yes, ma'am.
What time did he call you back?
It was around 10 o'clock.
I want to go back to that dinner time call. When he talked about these two people who are no longer with us and that he was a killer, did he show any type of remorse?
No, ma'am.
So let's go now to the 10 o'clock call. Again, your wife knew about kind of what was going on during that day.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he called back at 10, did he go into more details about what he had told you earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start with the first girl. If you could tell the jurors, what did he tell you?
He just said he met a girl at a bar. They went back to her house, hung out for a little bit, and then she fell asleep.
What did he say happened after she fell asleep?
He said he got on top of her and choked her.
What name did he call her? Did he refer to her in a derogatory term?
He said, I choked that bitch.
Okay.
Nice.
And what did he say he did after he choked her?
He said he stayed in the house for a little while, and then he rolled her up and was going to try to put her in her trunk, but he couldn't lift her.
I'm
Did
so
he say
curious what
why
he
he
did
was
while he stayed in her house. Like, was he like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to pop some Pop-Tarts after I just fucking murdered her? Like, what did he do?
Texas piece, as far as like feeling guilty for other people, I'm talking specifically when your child does something, not just for other people, but
Yeah, people that there's just people that you feel like you have some sort of we all have sway over other individuals in some capacity, just whether it be because you're best friends or you've got, you know, the familial ties. You will hold influence over someone else, and so when they fuck up to a certain degree, there's just going to be that inherent guilt because you do know that you have sway over them. So you wonder if things could have gone differently if you've been different.
Yeah. Oh, the whole what if thing, right? So somebody unalives themselves. Everyone surrounding that person goes, what if I did such and such? And that's one of those parts where guilt is the appropriate description for that feeling. Because what didn't I do, or what could I have done to prevent said thing from happening? I think it's more common with, obviously, with the unaliving self deletions. But yeah, I think there's a
Unable to put her in her
component of that
trunk?
with this guy.
He said that he felt like rigor mortis had started to set in.
And does rigor mortis make your body stiff? You didn't
I
know?
think so.
So he just told you that that was the reason that he couldn't lift her and get her into her trunk?
Yes, ma'am.
And when he said her trunk, it was the trunk of her car he was going to put her in?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did he tell you he did when he couldn't get her body into her own trunk?
He left her there and took her car.
What did he say about the second girl?
So Christine was actually found in between the bedroom and the kitchen area. And when officers arrived, and we're going to get to the circumstances of their arrival, there was like a pile of clothes in that area, and they inspected further, and it was her underneath it. So, yeah.
He said he saw her walking down the street and stopped and asked her for
Now,
directions.
In his defense, maybe she just didn't do the laundry. That would piss me off.
Maybe. And I mean, he was trying to move her, so she died in the bedroom, I'm presuming. And then maybe she was found there because he was trying to move her and it was struggling with that.
Yeah, we can go ahead and continue. I had
okay.
Too far a joke even for free. I'll tell them my own channel.
I thought it looked like there was a joke brewing.
There was a joke there, but I'm going to censor myself.
What did he say happened once she got in the car with him?
He said he reached over and choked her.
And did he tell you that he choked her while he was driving?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what did he say happened after he choked her?
He said he was looking for a place to put her body.
Did he find a place where he eventually dumped her body?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he tell you about the situation when he got to the place where he was going to dump her body?
He said that he pulled her out of the car and realized that she was still breathing.
So what did he tell you he did when he realized she's still breathing?
He said he got back in the car and ran her over until she looked like spaghetti.
There it is.
As he's telling you all these things, what's his demeanor as he's telling you?
He was excited.
You say excited. What do you mean by that?
I felt like he was wanting me to feel the way he felt about it.
Did he seem proud of it?
Yes.
Did he seem to show any kind of remorse?
Oh, man.
And was he able to go into great?
I mean, that in of itself would make you think, okay, so he's actually crazy.
I don't know about crazy because, like, I don't know. Do you consider a socio and or psychopath crazy?
I don't think not guilty because of, but I can see where attorneys would really lean into that, and I think they did try with him.
I don't know. To me, crazy is like, oh, and again, I'm no fucking psychologist, but like crazy folks have trouble comprehending reality. This dude,
they don't understand right from wrong.
Right. So my mother had a TBI, and basically she, to save her life, the doctors had to cut out a chunk of her brain, and the chunk of her brain that cut out was the section that makes it easy to tell right from wrong. And so, it's that to me is crazy, as opposed to he has a firm grip on reality. He's just a monster. I can't, in good conscience, understand anyone that tries to make the defense of, oh, he's crazy. And I think this testimony is really the kind of the nail in the coffin, because yeah, clearly homie knew, he called his dad needing help, which means he knew something was wrong, therefore it can't be crazy. And then the excitement part, that's nail in the
that had to do with the drugs too, having the excitement or that kind of thing? Not just, oh, I'm looking for him to be excited for me because this is so cool, but could he have been kind of amped up from the drug use?
I mean, I imagine that he could he? Absolutely. However, if I was a betting boy, I'd say he had this in him all the time, whether, drugs may have exacerbated it, but this was probably in him regardless. If I'm going to be an armchair psychologist.
Well, yeah, and the stories that his ex-girlfriends have told about their situations, that some of them were reports and documented and all that thing with law enforcement. The behaviors were progressively getting more scary, coupled with drug use, which they also try to say, back to the concussion story, he's a little loopy, not playing with the full deck because of the concussions and the car accident, and then the extensive drug use, that it diminished capacity or something for it.
And there is an argument for that to be true for individuals. Like, that can absolutely be the case for someone. It's just not for him. And I get that a defense attorney's job is to try and get, look for any avenue to do the best for your client. But I mean, I'd say it's fairly obvious that dude is playing with a full deck of cards. He's just a cheater.
Detail about both of these ladies' deaths.
Yes, ma'am.
The second girl that he killed and left in the slot, did he think that she would be found?
Oh, ma'am.
He seemed to think he did a good job hiding her body.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the whole time that he's telling you these details, is your wife hearing any of these details?
I had the phone on speakerphone.
Now, prior to him telling you these details, how did you feel about turning him in to law enforcement?
I initially wanted to help him.
Did you feel conflicted about giving him over to law enforcement initially?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point when you're talking with him, did that feeling change?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I just thought, what if that was my mom or my daughter or sister or wife? I wouldn't want
right, that is
that.
the most heartbreaking part of the testimony for me, is that line.
Concerns of what might happen if you didn't turn him into law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that, sir?
he would have done it again.
Now,
Didn't he even say that he was going to do it again? He wanted to do it again because he had already, unalived one person. And then he's like, so why not just keep doing more?
I don't know. So if he said that, I don't know. Is that what would have been the case? I mean, well,
That's what one
could
of the
what ended
podcasts
up being the
reported on.
case. But yeah, I don't know if he said that. But man,
But that is a common thing with killers, right? They're like, you already crossed that line. So then it's like, oh.
Well, I mean, and humans operate like that. Have you ever been late to work and you thought, I'm already late, so why not stop and get a bagel and, to take an extra bit of time in the gas station? What was the difference between 10 minutes and 25 minutes at this fucking point? Like, extrapolate that, but to people who, snuff the life from someone's eyes.
Sociopaths. Yeah.
after he's telling you all these details, do you know where he's at when he's telling you these things?
I just knew he was in a house that he broke into when he was running from the police.
Did you know the actual address of this house he broke into?
No, ma'am.
Now, when you were talking to him and you decided that you needed to give the information to law enforcement about his whereabouts, how did you get that address from him?
I told him I was going to send him an Uber and I needed the address of where he was.
Were you actually
Ubers with
going to
cherries
give him
and
an Uber?
berries.
Great idea, man. This
And
is
so
That was genius.
that is such a great idea. First time I was picked up by the police, I was I was a teenager at the time, and I was a teenage runaway. I was like 15 or something, and I really wanted to see my girlfriend. I've been on the run for like 3 months. I wanted to see my girlfriend, so I called her, and her mom was like, "Oh yeah, of course, we'll go see him," and she just used where I was to call the cops into my spot. So like shit like that it's great tactic. Well done. I applaud it.
Great job, Dad.
when you told him that you were going to send him an Uber, did he give you that address?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you then do with the address he gave you?
My wife was
Yeah, Bush is
messaging with
correct.
the officer.
Now, is your wife messaging with the officer during the course of these details that he's telling you?
The last part of them.
And so she's relaying what your son's telling you to law enforcement,
Yes, ma'am.
giving them further details.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, again, this conversation you're having with
Yep.
your son is on October 7th, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It's in the evening hours.
Yes, ma'am.
And was it your understanding that him going to the bar and meeting the first woman happened the night before?
Yes, ma'am.
So at this point, when he's giving you all this information and you're giving this information to law enforcement, had the second girl's body been?
Yeah, he has
Uh,
the sociopath
yeah.
eyeballs, the black eyeballs, the nothing there, the void kind of a look.
Yeah, Fondy. We'll get to the or at least I assume we'll get to the audio calls, the phone calls from prison that he's made to his like. There's women they're like sending him money and putting money on his account and whatnot, and he's like having all these lovey-dovey conversations. Like he's happy about this. Like he's definitely not a sociopath. I don't know that he's a psychopath. I actually, again, armchair psychology, I don't think he fits the bill for a psychopath, but he's definitely not a sociopath. There is emotion there. In fact, one of the reasons that he acts out in such, violent manners and whatnot is because of his inability to control said emotions, regardless of the drug influence. So,
Found.
No, ma'am.
And did it strike that? Now, that address you said your wife then gave to law enforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you remain on the phone with your son?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you on the phone with him when law enforcement showed up at that house?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you encourage him to go outside and turn himself in?
I did. I didn't want him to do anything stupid and end up getting killed. So I just told him to put his hands up and just go outside.
I have nothing further and tender this witness. Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I do have one more.
Okay.
Do you see your son sitting here in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you describe an article of clothing he's wearing?
Dark suit.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that the witness is identified. Actually, if you could just
Unfortunate
give
pause
us.
space. So timeline wise, so we left off with the print shop. He walks away from there. The cops arrive because Josh at the print shop was like, yo, dude was here, said he unalive people. So they see the car. They find out who it's registered to. They see that there's blood inside the vehicle. There's concern that she might be in the trunk. So they bust into it. And
Also, fun fact about the print shop, they had just rearranged their cameras, so the cameras didn't actually get the license plate of the car. It got the car, but it didn't get the license plate number. Because like literally the weekend before, they had readjusted how if the cameras had been the way they were prior, they would have been able to get the license plate and everything. What a fucking twisted turn of events.
Good Lord. And so hours go by, and he calls his dad, what we just heard the testimony of. And the Ubers are the U.S. Marshals and local law enforcement and everything. So, but the home that he had broken into, the family were fortunately on their way to Ohio at the time. He showered, he put on their
I
clothes.
don't know which is more unfortunate. The fact that, frankly, they may have been better off being in the house of the killer than being in fucking Ohio.
I would know.
What's Ohio got? It's got Drew Carey and it's got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's like it. I'm just saying.
I've only stopped in Ohio briefly for a connecting flight, so I have no opinion on Ohio. But when they arrested him, he had 5 cans of White Claws, or empty cans of White Claws around him. So he was just hanging out. Wonder if he was even like planning ahead. I mean, he wanted to get out of town, but not too quickly, apparently.
Imagine your last drink being like let's say things went down differently and he went the suicide by cop method. Bro, if your last drink is White Claw, you deserve to get the 6 rounds to your chest. I'm just saying.
I
Drink
guess
some
he didn't
scotch like a fucking adult.
Maybe he was under the impression there ain't no law when you're drinking the claw.
Your
Can't see
Honor,
me.
dismiss all charges. No laws when drinking White Claw.
Case dismissed.
That's amendment number 28. U.S. Constitution. Sorry, we can
Good
continue.
Lord. So, all this is happening before the arrest. So we're stepping back a little bit because there are things happening that no one knows about. During that time, someone had noted an unusual amount of vulture activity. Birds, the bird vultures, scavenging birds, right? So that's how they find Miss Diane, her body out in the wooded area that he left in, spaghetti and whatnot. Interesting factoid. I don't know if it's interesting or just horrific, but there was a couple eating breakfast that morning that saw the car going back and forth for a while. They're like, well, that's weird. They didn't see that there was a person there, just the car moving around. So they didn't think to call anybody at the time. But yeah, the vultures gave it away, especially when they found Christine's car. They call up, I don't know how they got her friend Stephanie, her best friend Stephanie's contact information, but they call Stephanie and go, hey, we found Christine's car. And she's like, it was missing because she had left her home that night when she left Wade and Christine, So she was like, oh, it's missing. And then that's when they went and found Christine at her home. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. They're like, oh, hey, there's vultures. Wonder if it's the lady. And it was a different lady. So what had happened, and he kind of touched on it in his testimony there, Diane was just walking. We don't really know if he like forced her into the car or if he just like convinced her to get in the car. But she got in the car.
Well, we supposedly we know. The explanation that's been given is that she was walking and he pulled up to her to ask for directions. And then once she came over to give him directions, he forced her in the car. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
so he did.
That's the story.
Gotcha. Okay. But then he said,
basically used the Ted Bundy method, honestly.
Sure. And he did say that her fear was what made him want to unalive her because it was you could see it, I guess. And his
I
words
hadn't heard
were,
that part. God damn.
he said, "I was the lion and she was the prey. Her
Yeah. Okay.
fear
Yeah.
was
He
what
said that
made
in one
me
of his
want to."
calls. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that a couple of times, I think. That's kind of his shtick. But yeah, so it had to have happened before he went to the spa, right? Because so let's say he left Christine's house, saw Diane at some point, went to the spa, went to Crab Shack, or do you think it happened in between the spa and the Crab Shack? I was a little
So
fuzzy on the
my
timeline.
my understanding is it happened in between the first kill and the spa. Now I don't know that that's accurate, but that's my understanding of it
That's what
because
I was thinking too.
it's real fuzzy. Even maybe I watched like 7 hours of information on this yesterday, and even after all that, I couldn't quite pin it down. But it seems like it was in between the first kill and him going to meet Mila at the spa.
Add another one. And another one. So
Also, there's some very interesting factoids about Mila, but I'll wait until we'll get back to her later if we get to her testimony. I'll talk about those then. But yeah, there's that bitch also fucked up in a myriad of different ways.
oh, you know what? Well, I'm at the end of the timeline as far as like the unalivings and the arrest and all things. So then I was going to kind of shift over into some of the other factoids surrounding the people involved. So if you have something on the
Mila's
Mila.
married to a chomo now.
No.
So the bar, the Buddha, is a bar that hosts live music, and there's a band that plays there, a regular band. They're called like the Original Villains or the Dirty Villains, something like that. And their lead guitarist is a registered sex offender who is registered. The crime is listed as sexual abuse of a minor older than 3 but younger than 16. So do not know the age of the individual, but she is seen on stage. There's video footage of her on stage dancing with this guy just 2 days before her outing at the Buddha with homie here. She is now married to a fucking registered chomo. Yeah, I got no sympathy for Mila. Obviously glad that she didn't get fucking offed.
Sure.
But she went from one absolute piece of shit to another.
Friggin' grief. Hey, can you entertain everybody for a moment? I'll BRB.
Absolutely. Boo says he was disagreeing with my false assessment. My false assessment of what? Hold on, let me see here. Let me go back to what you're disagree. Sociopaths tend to be very intelligent. Psychopaths can be, but their emotions tend to control their behavior. I don't know how that's a disagreement with my style. I agree. So when I said that I don't think he was a psychopath, I don't know that he meets all the. Obviously, he has very psychopathic tendencies. I just don't know how many of them he meets to actually be legally classified as a psychopath. He very well could actually be a psychopath. I don't think he's been legally classified one as of yet. I don't know how many of those tendencies he meets. He does display some of those tendencies. So yeah, I'm not saying he isn't one. I'm just saying that I don't know that he is one. So just a bit of a self-correction if I explain that poorly. Fundin says chomos need to be fed to Lord Chippy. Could not agree more. That is, look, yes, it is very, very awful. These 2 women were killed. Things like this shouldn't happen. But at the end of the day, they do. It's reality. It's part of where we live. We should all pretty much come to the same conclusion that anything done to kids is that is a 10,000% where I draw the line. Like there's only there's a reason that even the most hardened of criminals in the pen will fuck up child molesters. Like it is because there's a line there that you cannot come back from, and just fucking kill them. In general, I don't really know where I sit on the death penalty because part of me, the logical, rational side, is like, fuck him, kill him. I don't give a shit. There's 8 billion people in the world. What, we gonna miss one fucking criminal? Nah, fucking off him. The other half is like, I know there is corruption out there in the legal system. What if they were forced to give a confession under duress, and it turns out they were innocent, or maybe the crime was at least not was being purported, and now we just put someone on the chair that shouldn't have been there. So like, I've got some pretty mixed emotions about the death penalty, but no, once you get into fucking raping or doing things to children, if they admit it, or if there's enough evidence to pretty much fucking prove they did it, dude. And I don't believe in this fucking lethal injection, it's painless over in seconds bullshit. Nah, in my opinion, you make that goddamn shit painful. Not only do you make it painful, in my opinion, you make it public. Go back to the 1800s. Back in the 1800s, we used to have hangings in the goddamn public square. And you want to know, I imagine there was probably a lot less crime of this nature in the 1800s, because if you get a gaggle of folks all together, like, all right, it's hanging day, and you see some poor son of a bitch who's about to be fucking noosed, that's gonna show the populace, yo, that could be me. I could be on display like a goddamn Buzz Lightyear in Al's Toy Barn. Maybe I don't want to rape a child or whatever. Bring back public execution if we know beyond a shadow of a doubt they actually committed the crimes that they're being accused of committing.
Agreed. It's a deterrent, right, for behaviors and crimes. So little bit of a tangent here. So there is apparently, are you aware of the Norwegian model of prisons that are basically
No,
dorms?
the only models I know are the Japanese model and the American model.
Okay, so Norwegian prisons, they're basically dorm rooms. They have phones in their rooms. They have amenities. They have gyms. They have schooling. It's like they're at camp. California, shocker, they want to open up an experimental prison in Northern California, following the Norwegian model. And it's like,
if it is for
whack.
non-violent offenders, I'm not opposed to this, because I do think for non-violence there is a chance at rehabilitation. But if this is for violent offenders, no, fuck that. That's fucking retarded.
I think it includes violent offenders, but
no, fuck that. That's
still
fucking retarded.
It's still in the early works, but they're wanting to emulate that model, and it's
like, dude, if cops kick in homie's door and he's shooting up heroin, that's illegal. That frankly, I'm very libertarian on drugs. People should be able to do what they want to do. Now they commit crimes under the influence of drugs, throw the fucking book at them. With that being said, yeah, no. If cops kick in a dude's door and he's doing heroin or meth or whatever, or he's doing any other manner of illegal activity that doesn't have to do with violence, no,
being present,
I think there
neglect,
is
all that.
I think there's an avenue for rehabilitation there. But nah, the moment violence is involved, look, I'm not even okay with letting motherfuckers sit in prison for 30 years waiting to be put to death while our tax dollars feed their survival. Nah, we wrap this shit up. Let's all pack a fucking lunch, beat them to death ourselves, and move the fuck on.
Sure. I mean, I do personally know 2 guys who had served a couple decades for homicide, and actually attempted homicide. Well, homicide plus 1 attempted. They're thriving. They found a skill and they're doing well. Awesome. Also, when I hear about them talk about when they were in prison, and yes, that's where I really got into yoga and like reading of Shakespeare, and I'm like,
so many men turn to religion after that, dude. They get a Bible and they're like, oh shit, this opened my eyes. And like, how much that's genuine, I don't know, but it does happen. So I'm not opposed to the idea of giving folks, how many people got their degrees in prison and they went on, like you said, to have, it's, when it comes to violent crimes, it depends on the crime. If your violent crime is you got into a bar fight and you were just way better than the other person and you beat the shit out of them, all right, do you 2 years and get out and become a woodworker or what the fuck
ever. That happened to my brother, actually. He didn't actually have to serve time, but he got into a mutual combat situation. He was bigger and did more damage. The victim in said scenario, didn't want to press charges. There was a new female DA in that county, though, that insisted on pushing the charges. The guy didn't even want to testify, wanted nothing to do with it. She insisted, and he ended up having to do some, not time served, but okay, we're just going to do you don't have to go to jail, but it's still going to be on your record.
Right.
Kind of a thing. So yeah, that was bullshit. But
yeah, no, however, if you say, if homie comes home from work and the spaghetti is burned and you decide to beat this shit out of your wife because she's a bad cook, I don't know how much there is of redeeming that motherfucker. Maybe you can. I'm again.
I
I'm not a
almost thought you were going to
psychologist,
make a joke and say you would allow it. She shouldn't have burned the spaghetti. The spaghetti.
Look,
Oh no, we're talking about spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
No, no,
spaghetti. No,
Leon.
spaghetti can be difficult to make. Now,
God
if she'd
damn it.
like fucked up a salad or something, yo, homie, why can't you just cut up some vegetables and mix them together? No, that's totally permissible. Spaghetti can be difficult.
Really?
You got to, punishment appropriate to the crime.
Understood. Thank you for clarifying your stance on beating your wife over burnt
Also, you should
spaghetti.
beat the shit out of your wife for making salad. What man wants salad? We are red blood Americans. We want meat, motherfuckers.
Oh my goodness. So what did you have next for us, Leon? As far as what's her butt?
No, it was just that she is now married, and again,
Oh yeah, that.
married to it, and also the band. I guess we can add a little bit of extra. The band frequently makes music videos that feature the abuse and trafficking of women. So just to add insult to injury, that is the imagery the band likes to use. Now, it could just be, oh, look how edgy we are. But when your lead guitarist is a chomo and your music videos have to do with women being assaulted and trafficked,
Yikes.
bro,
That's not a
you
good
must be
look.
wearing some fucking rose-colored glasses because those red flags, they should be red. Like,
Yikes. Okay, so this is 5 minutes of Mila. Ugh. Now I don't like her even more. So there was another clip of a jail phone call between her and Wade where she's like putting money on his books and all that. It was like the last call before he found out that she had actually lured him to get like caught. He still didn't know, I guess, at that point. But she was still like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take care of you, putting money on his books, his commissary or whatever. And she said that she was going out to buy some snow, and he's like, "What, you're supposed to take care of me?" "Oh yeah, but I had to buy some snow." It's like, you sound like a real winner there, lady. She sounds,
bro, the fact that
Ugh.
she would say, look, everyone knows these calls in the pin are monitored and recorded for quality assurance. Why the fuck
Obviously.
would you acknowledge that you are buying snow on a fucking jail line?
They're not the brightest. It's so stupid. Like you said, it's an art
Must
form.
do great massages.
Maybe. Let's see
Or did
this.
you get out and try to talk to him?
Yes.
And again, what were you trying to talk to him about?
I went to the driver's side window. He wrote it down. I said, "Where are my keys? Where's my car?" He was calm and just saying, "Get in the car, get in the car." And it escalated quickly.
Did you agree to get in the car?
No.
And when you would not agree to get in the car, how did he act?
Violent, aggressive, tried to pull me in the car physically. And I resisted, got plank style so that he could not grab me into the vehicle.
When you say you got plank style, could you just show the jurors what you mean by that?
And I was being pulled into the car by my dress.
Okay, so for the record.
So when I first heard about this, I was thinking, you know how little kids, they do noodle? They are so slippery. It's hard to hold on to them. They just droop. I imagined her going full noodle, but she did plank instead. So, you know.
I mean, there's something wrong with her noodle.
Apparently. Too much snow.
Just stood up and put your hands straight above your head.
Yes, so that I was not being able to be budged into the vehicle.
And you said he's pulling at your dress.
Yes.
Can you describe in more detail how he's pulling at your dress?
He's pulling dress, probably a little hair, everything, and then the dress starts to rip off of my body.
And what happens after that?
Does she have any sort of accent to you, or is that just Florida? Florida people weigh in.
Florida or drug use or both, I guess.
Like you were saying, he sounds like he's got some like impediment or something.
Well, no, it's not even an impediment so much so it's like, y'all, when you listen to him like on the phone call, it's like, y'all, what up, girls? Yeah, man, we're gonna have the news coming out, and it's gonna be crazy. They might even pay me to be in an exclusive interview. Like, he talks like a fucking gangbanger thug. Dude, you grew up in Florida with a loving family. Like, did you just adopt this prison persona, or have you always been a fucking poser? I don't know.
Oh gosh, I wish I had the video. I need the clip because we're doing this now. I need the prison mic clip from The Office. He puts on the little bandana. Anyway, I deal with people that go into prison. So
Bush, I would
it's
not do that on
particularly
Moxie's
funny.
channel. I respect her too much. She's one of the only women I respect.
You mean saying nice or noodle or
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua?
Once he realizes that the threads were becoming, I was getting away from him and he was still holding onto the dress, he opens the car door, obviously forgets to put in park. The car starts to roll forward. He tackles to me to the ground.
She is another.
The car grazes both of our legs and I'm pummeled to the ground.
How hard did he push you to the ground?
I'm sorry, I don't recall. This is also fast and he's very heavy and I'm
Okay,
I'm
real
5'2",
quick
he's
question.
6'6".
When
So
is this test? Because the crime was in 2019, but as we all know, this shit takes years. I mean, he
Years.
just got sentenced in 2024. When is this testimony taking place? How long after the crime? Do you know?
Just a couple months ago.
Okay, so this is real recent.
Yeah. It's
Because
so
he's
hot
been
right
on
now.
trial throughout the course of the last 5 years for multiple crimes. The hit and run was a different trial than one murder, which was a different trial than another, which was different than like I think he's gone to trial over 5 different crimes over the course of that 48 hours.
Ooh. Damn. How do you think those tattoos will favor him in prison? Do you think people will respect it, or are they gonna? I mean, he did have a boyfriend at some point.
I don't think the
Well,
tattoos are going to give him respect. I think that he's going to. I mean, no matter what, you got to fight day one. Like that's just rule. You got to fight day one. He's going to get
and
into a
you
fight.
and you have to
6'6".
align yourself with the right
Yeah,
race group because that's law.
mhm. So yeah, you've got to align yourself with the right race group. And he's got a notable size advantage on a lot of folks. 6'6" ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Sure.
I honestly think he's gonna do A-okay in prison. I think that, I mean, obviously he's a narcissistic, cowardly bitch, but give it a year or two, and I think that he's unfortunately gonna be A-okay, which is why it's a damn shame that we can't just like plug him now and move the fuck on.
Zap. Yeah. So in California, somebody gets sentenced to death, right? There's been a moratorium on actually putting someone to death since like 2006 in
Mhm.
California. So it's just like, oh, so you're just gonna live out until you just die of old age,
Well,
or
and
you
that's
join
what
a
it is.
work program.
Life sentences make no goddamn sense to me. If they're gonna die in prison, just fucking kill them. Why am I getting out? I work fucking 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts. I do my fucking 9 to 5, or in this case, 10 to 9, and then part of my check is going to making sure these motherfuckers get to live 3 meals a day, like for the rest of their lives. And
Yoga.
Oh man, they don't get to go to Banana Republic in the mall on Sunday because they're in prison. I don't give a fuck. Why?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Now, what happens
Oh, that was
after
funny, Jay.
you are pushed to the ground?
I start to get beat.
Describe what you mean when you say he was beating you.
It all went so fast and so slow, whether it be punches, slapping, choking, that kind of nature. Yes.
Now, you mentioned that the fight is happening around the car.
That's
Does the
interesting,
fight move
Tanya.
at some point?
Yes. So I either get drugged, pulled, can't remember by my hair, arm, or dress, I'm trying to reason with him, trying to talk to him, but there's nobody behind those eyes anymore. So there was no reasoning with him. I got to the front of the staircase and I'm holding onto that, and a crowd begins to develop. I'm expecting people to help, call 911. So I'm just trying to bide my time at that point as quickly as help can get there. And that's not working either. I'm starting to get punched and grabbed and choked and all kinds of things again. Somehow we move up to the upper level. I'm trying to convince him, let's just go in Mila Spa. We'll talk about it there. We're safe there.
What was your thought process in getting him to your spa?
Elongate the amount of time it took to get help. I was trying anything that I could to expand the amount of time that I didn't have to go to his car where I'd probably never be seen again. It just elongate the amount of time. I knew help was on its way. The cop even said that's the most amount of pings they've ever heard from a 911 call ever. There was a crowd out there.
Okay.
So
you're essentially trying.
That's so crazy to me because there were a few different businesses surrounding the spa. It was like a little mini complex, and she ended up finding, retreat. Somebody let her in. They locked the door before he left. He's so like disconnected, like still continuing to do the thing that he wants to do, even though there's now a crowd developing. I didn't realize there was a crowd.
Oh, no. Did you hear about this? Again, maybe not, because this is in that very recently released body cam footage. So
I didn't see that.
while the police, this is in like the first few minutes, while the police are interviewing Mila here and trying to figure out what's going on, an old man who must be in his like 60s, 70s, 80s, something like that, walks up and says, I recorded all. I have all this on camera. And the cop is like, wait, what? And so he takes the phone, but because the fucking where the sun was, and because the guy was old, he was holding the camera, but the sun was in his eyes, and so he was like off frame. And so all he caught, he tried to record it that way he could present it to the police, and literally caught nothing because of the camera angle and the sun in his eyes and whatnot. Like, this shit could have been put to bed ages ago, because homie, like Good Samaritan, tried to record, like stand there and record this for proof that he was beating the shit out of her, but they weren't actually in frame. It is what a, like, you combine that with like the fact that the print shop had moved the cameras and whatnot. There is so much just bad luck about not catching him. I mean, yeah, they caught him relatively quickly, but there's so much evidence that could have been there that was missed just due to bad luck. It is so unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Boosh asked if Jay Goodwin was filming. That's funny, Boosh.
Did you see the part where he tried to escape jail?
Yes, that's so. When I said there was like 5 different crimes, yeah, that was one. So he had a separate trial for fucking attempting to escape jail, and I believe it was 2020.
I didn't realize he had a separate trial for the attempted escape, and then
that one might not have happened yet. That he might still have an upcoming trial for that one. But he has either had trial for or it's scheduled. Point, that's a separate crime that he will have to have a trial for.
Roger Dodger. Okay. Where did my show notes go? No.
In the meantime, Brad's. Oh, okay, you got something?
Oh no, keep going. I still have to get the link up.
Okay, Brad says, the reliving her testimony, she's trying to remember the words that she's been told to say. That is a very, again, as someone that's been on both sides of this, the lawyers will absolutely coach you, and once you say something so many times, your brain sort of rewrites the memory. So even you don't know if you're just now. Again, I'm not trying to give credence to this woman's testimony one way or the other, because again, fuck her, she's married to a chomo. But either we don't know if she's actually recounting the correct, the real story, or she's recounting what her lawyer told her to say, or a combination of her lawyer told her to say this, she said it so many times, she is genuinely recounting this as the real story, even if that's what didn't go down. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. So, you're talking about other charges that he had sentenced to death. Where is he now? He's in prison. Let's see. He was back in court August 29th, 2 days after his sentencing, to resolve an unrelated drug and attempted escape charge that he racked up while in custody in the Lee County Jail. His move to death row was on hold while the criminal charges he accumulated in jail were pending. As part of a plea agreement, he pleaded no contest to charges of attempted trafficking in amphetamine or methamphetamine between 28 and 200 grams and conspiracy to traffic. He received a 12-year
Right,
sentence.
yeah, that's the other trial. Is that she tried to have drugs smuggled into the jail. That's right. And Bush and Jay, I agree with both those statements.
He's remembering a script, yeah. So the other thing, did they okay, so did he escape from jail? No, he didn't escape from jail, but apparently there was a window in the jail that was broken as part of this attempted escape plan. So in 2020, Wilson, who shares the name of Deadpool, yeah, and his cellmate were accused of tampering with a window in their Lee County jail cell in an attempt to escape. Wilson, reportedly the primary planner and instigator of the escape effort, also tried to set up a getaway car. Deputies searched for the 10 by 10 cell they were housed in and found the window tampered with. It was the metal frame holding the window had been removed and there were several cracks. So
do you know who his cellmate is, by the way?
No. Does it?
So I'm blanking on his name, but do you remember the case? It was a few years ago about the man who wanted his wife dead. Like supposedly had this perfect happy marriage behind the scenes. They fucking hate each other, and so he hired like 2 hitmen from Missouri to come and deal with his wife. Are you familiar with this case at all?
Okay, so I've actually heard it's told a little differently. I heard that he had an estranged wife that was going to be taking him to court, and he wanted somebody to take her out.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's what it was. But either way, that's his fucking cellmate, and they are not only are they cellmates in jail, but they will both be being transferred to the same prison in Florida when this is done. So like, at least he's already got himself a buddy.
Sure, but okay, I don't know how buddy they are because so said cellmate wanted his wife who was causing him problems unalived, and he's like, this is Wade's version of events, right? Yeah, he came to me because he said, you have contacts on the outside, you can help me out with this, and in return, I'm going to give you $250,000. Here's the lock codes, here's the safe codes, here's this, that, whatever, and I'll get you 250 grand. It all seemed totally far-fetched, but Wade pitched it. He ratted out. He narked on him and said, yeah, this guy came to me.
I didn't know that part.
Oh, no, he narked on him. And he said that so him talking to jail staff, relaying this information, he said, yeah, I told him, no, she is a person and her life matters. I wouldn't do anything like that. It's like, okay, so he's trying to plant the seeds of I'm a good guy. I wouldn't be a part of anything like that. And also the fact that the 250 grand was just never even a thing. It's like, okay, what are your motivations here, Wade?
Dude who can't afford a lawyer and has to use a public defender has 250 grand stashed away in a storage unit in fucking South Florida. Yeah,
Here, he called his cellmate daddy. I don't know, but the attempted escape was such a weak effort because the windows, if you've ever seen a jail, prison, whatever, the windows are extremely high up, even for a 6'6" man, and they're very narrow. There's no way a large person's going to be getting through that. Also, the
Moxie,
furniture.
where there's a will, there is a way.
Well, I mean, the furniture is bolted to the ground. They managed to pull up one of those metal stools to attempt to reach the window. It's like, I see what you're doing there, but come on, guys. Not the brightest bulbs in the bunch here.
Whatever happened to a good old hide in the
snitched.
laundromat? Yeah, I didn't know that. That is, that's gonna go well, bro. I didn't. So earlier, in the show, I said that I think he's gonna be just fine in prison. I didn't know he was a snitch. That changes my statement a bit.
Yeah. Seriously, snitches get more than stitches when you're in prison. Let's see. Will he be
snitches become bitches?
Mm-hmm. Well, he already had a boyfriend, so.
Yeah, but we don't know if he was the top or the bottom. Caesar's rule: if you're the giver, you're not gay.
Is that Caesar's rule or Leon's rule?
Fuck you.
Oh no. R2, Lee2, why are
That
there
was
3
good.
titties? Are we doing
They
a
were talking about Total Recall, I think, in the chat.
Oh,
And there's,
I was
there's a
gonna
bitch.
say, are we
There's 3 titties in Total Recall.
nice. Oh gosh. Not gay as long as you're pitching.
Yeah,
Okay.
Caesar's rule. Because the story, whether it's true or not, is that the Roman Emperor Caesar was he was gay, but he had made this decree that no, only the receiver is gay.
Got him.
Yeah, that was good. I walked right into that.
Shit. So capital cases are automatically appealed to the Florida Supreme Court. Blah blah blah. Petition for writ of certiorari. Can you say that word for me?
Which word? Highlight it. Certiorari, I would say. Certiorari.
Remember that for spellcast. It might come in handy.
Maybe we'll play some tonight after this. Who knows?
I do love me a good game of spellcast.
I love making Leonard Ghost on my bitch.
Ooh, shots fired. Shots fired. I'd like to report a murder. No. Don't do it, Leon.
Admiral Beale, I have no rules. I drink White Claw.
Ain't no law. Some hillbilly. Okay, so I live in a fairly country-esque town for being in California. And there was the checkout guy at the grocery store one time. This was a couple years ago now. He's all, I was buying White Claw because I was going to like a barbecue. He's like, you know what they say? I'm like, what? Ain't no law when you're drinking the claw. That was the first time I heard it, and I've been on the internet before, and I thought that was just so freaking funny and stupid. I can't help it. I'm a fan of stupid phrases and dad jokes, bad jokes. Oh,
I've never had a White Claw, I can honestly say.
You've never had a White Claw?
I've not, no. I did only recently find out Liquid Death is non-alcoholic, though. I always thought that a seltzer water called Liquid Death was alcoholic. No, apparently it's just fucking water. Why would you call water Liquid Death? You need that shit to live. That makes no sense.
Because
anyway,
the hipsters will buy it because it's cool water.
Let's go back to talking about the murderer because fuck Liquid Death.
Okay, so Bailey Sarian, she's one of my favorite true crime reporting people. She does her makeup while she's telling a story because she's like, it's awkward not to do something with my hands while I'm telling a story. So she puts on her makeup, and she's super cute. She makes bad jokes and inappropriate jokes, and she's great. But as you will find with most true crime channels, they will have millions of subscribers, even very new channels. Because
Jay, I thought that one particular seltzer water was alcoholic because it's called Liquid Death. Sorry, continue.
So you'll find many true crime channels, even if they have shit audio, they have shit production, like they don't even care. They will gain an audience super duper fast. And I created a true crime channel, and I didn't really do much with it. I did one video and I promised to do more, and life happened. But she has like 7 million subscribers. None of her videos are able to be monetized because she uses the naughty words. But that's why they have to rely on sponsors. All of them do. Mostly like HelloFresh and the Appy games, like Jules Journey or whatever. You see a lot of that. No Raid's Shadow Legend.
HelloFresh. Do you like your food fresh, like the corpses in my videos? Like, sorry, continue.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Very inappropriate jokes. It's a great take on telling true crime stories to deliver it in such a way where it's still entertaining and, inappropriate. I love it. So this is Bailey Sarian's little clip on the X. So before Mila, he was dating this woman who has her channel on TikTok, and she's been putting out content a lot about her experiences with
I'm mixed on that bitch. I've watched some of her stuff.
Yeah.
Go, by the way, go on. Ladies first.
So she gets a lot of shit in her comments because she's not very, to me, she's not very attractive. So she gets a lot of people like shitting on her. You're a 3, he's a 10. And I mean, that's shitty. But at the same time,
and to be fair, she's like a 5.5, like 6 maybe. I wouldn't call her a 3.
My motto is I'm a 6 on a good day. But
oh, honey, no,
stop it. No, honey,
anyway.
no.
Point
Anyway,
is, look, I've only seen this
I don't
bitch because
trust
she
her.
does TikToks. I've only seen her from like here up, but like she got a little bit of that modern game journalism man job. She's got like pretty eyes, like her hair's clean, like you know.
Let's watch this one. We'll see what Bailey says.
In late 2018, Wade started dating a woman named Kelly. It was said that Wade, he's handsome, he's charismatic, and he has like tattoos. He was attractive. It was easy to like the guy. They end up moving in together and living in Lake Worth, Florida, and everything seemed fine until Wade was arrested in January of 2019 for grand theft and dealing in stolen property. After his release from jail, Wade and Kelly got back together, but things like quickly went
Kelly looks
downhill.
different now. I'm just throwing that out
He
there.
started using drugs, which Kelly at the time she like didn't realize.
She looks like
at first
that.
He was using drugs. She was like,
No.
going
The
through
recent
stuff and
TikTok, she looks
found-
much different. That or I'm talking about a different ex because never mind. That bitch fugly. That bitch is like a 3.
I was thinking like 5.5. Really?
Look, either I'm talking about a different ex,
you
or
like
she's
to
gotten cleaned
resubmit?
up in her recent, like, because I'm talking about the like pixie cut blonde chick who's the one who was bringing him suits and stuff.
Have I thought of trying horror? So that's another thing I got from Bailey because like you said, just say horror. It sounds like horror, but
I
you
say
have to
horror.
You have to go horror. Horror. She's retarded like me. I love her, but no, I haven't been a big horror person. It's not, except for like the creepy pasta. I've listened to a lot of those.
Dude, if I'm not going to bed listening to true crime, I'm going to bed listening to creepypastas. Like it's one of those two. I fucking love them, dude.
Oh, have you heard of Mr. Black, also known as Mr. Black Pasta? He used to do creepypasta stories, and then he like switched to true crime, and then he sold certain rights to Law and Crime Network, and now he's doing like Cringe of Humanity. I've been trying to coordinate with him, but he's like in like Budapest or something, so time zones. But yeah, he has a great voice, and he was doing the creepypasta stories. So yeah, Mr. Black Pasta, they're pretty good. Ooh, one that I
like
actually
like fucking Fazoli's would sell around Halloween, but okay.
I don't know what Fazoli. What is Fazoli?
Do you not have Fazoli's in California?
Never heard of her.
No. Okay, so
I'm joking. I've never heard of it.
It's fast food Italian. Imagine if like what's a higher quality? Because I don't want to say McDonald's. What's a higher quality fast food place? Like I don't know, like
Garden?
Popeyes or huh?
Oh no, Olive Garden is a little too high class. We're talking.
Well, okay, so it's, imagine, a step below Olive Garden. It's like, frankly, I think Fazoli's better. But anyway, it's like Popeyes or Red Robin or Subway, but for Italian. Basically, it's Italian food with a drive-through, and it's so fucking great. I love it. Anyway, sorry. Back to spaghetti. You said that about
the whole theme about because pre-stream you made the joke about like Italian food. It's like we're just carrying on.
I didn't even make the correlation when I said that. I don't think.
I thought you did it on purpose.
No. I just because I'm on the carnivore diet, I don't get to eat pasta very much, so it's on my brain a lot.
Oh my. Okay.
Found evidence of a makeshift crack pipe. So their relationship became strained with arguments that sometimes got intense. One day, when Kelly tried to search his backpack for drugs, Wade kind of found out and he got really pissed. And I guess he kicked in the door, hit her or attacked her, and then she threw a table at him. This is like the first time things got physical between them. Things really
Florida
seem
people
to get worse from here.
I thought it was interesting because she found this like makeshift crack pipe. She didn't know what it was. She took to Reddit to ask the internet, what is this?
I want to know what the responses were that weren't crack pipe, because Reddit's got, look, as much as I hate Reddit, I think Reddit is like part of the dumbing down of the internet. There are some really great troll responses on Reddit, and that's why I continue to occasionally use that site. That and because they occasionally call, say that I'm a white supremacist, and that's pretty cool. But
oh yeah, I see the. Oh, sorry, that's just autism behind you. I thought it was a swastika. It's just Sonic.
Someone wanted to add, and I don't remember what it was now. Fuck. I lost my train of thank you. And continue.
Lost your train of think? We should probably bring this train back to the station. But I did want to touch on the fact that there are a bunch of crazy ladies out there that are like, oh, he's so hot. He said this, whatever. I can change him. There was, where did it go? Where did it go? There's a change.org petition to save Wade Wilson. And then there's a change.org petition to not save Wade Wilson, which I thought was funny. But where did it go? Linky. I'll find it again. Talk amongst yourself for a moment because I need to find the link that I thought I had in my show notes.
In the meantime, yes, Johnny Boy Richards, Heil Hondo. I can do this. This is the new Heil Hondo symbol. And then let's see. High class eating in the UK is Greg's the baker. Crazy train and think. Oh yeah, Randy Rhodes, man. Randy Rhodes is the fucking goat. That's not a swastika. That's Hondo.
Heil Hondo just like.
Get the gargantuan. Oh, dude, yeah, Adam Rabeel, yeah, 2 for $20 at Applebee's. Like, look, I'm not an Applebee's fan, but like, if you want to go on a date and you want to like pretend that you're somewhat professional, dude, 2 for $20 at Applebee's ain't a bad way to go. Because like, women don't know shit about money. They just coast off other dudes' money. So if you like 2 for $20 at Applebee's is a good way to go about it. I see your face. Have you found the link yet, or should I?
No, the Heil Hondo thing threw me off because it reminded me of the tattoos that has on his face. One of them being like 1488, 14 being the 14 tenets, like preserve our whiteness or whatever, and then 88 HH. Hey, now it's Heil Hondo. Okay.
Yeah. Yamato is asking who wants to date with Hondo. Look, as long as I'm not a chaperone, it'd be a great date. If I'm around though, he will viciously attack you. Hondo is very.
Be right back.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, they're quick reads. You can get through them in half an hour or so. In regards to Ein Volk, Ein Reich, and Ein Hondo, throwing on the list. That's awesome. Crazy trying to think. Let's see. I made a Hondo emote for the Hondo emote for the Discord is awesome. He also added that to the Vital Idols, which is my Discord, also super cool. Johnny Boy Richards is the man with a plan. If you guys are looking for something to do, you can after this show you can join the John, problematic white guys Discord, the Fringe Fellowship. There's a lot of us in there. Like how fast that Discord has grown is honestly kind of amazing. Hondo was based and dropping straight fire on Gucci's stream. Yeah, this is true. Hondo was talking about how Skynet was correct and how humanity is not worth saving and the Terminators are totally in the right. And based Hondo. Worst pair is 2 for $20 from it's for me and you. Well, to be fair, Adam, I see your fucking you got some guns in your profile pic there. You showing off them fucking forearms and tricep biceps. So yeah, 2 for $20. I can see that being for you. That makes sense. We are the Fringe, says Daxinar. Leon, did you know Fazoli's will cater weddings? Yes. So my second girlfriend when I was back in high school, she worked at Fazoli's, and at the time I was in a band, and so we were broke, and so she would frequently bring me leftovers from the end of the day at Fazoli's, and that was how the band ate. So yes, I'm well aware of the capabilities of Fazoli's.
You talking about Ben's biceps again?
Adam Rabeel is a specimen, okay?
You do you.
When I do me, it's pictures of Adam Rabeel.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, what am I looking for so we can end this? Get to spellcast. No, I was gonna look up the ladies. Oh, that's right. It was on YouTube, and then Chrome was derping out on me. So, please.
No, happy to do it. Yeah, R2Lee2 agrees. Adam is indeed a specimen. Yeah, Fazoli will sing for food. Yeah, that's pretty much what we did though, yo. So there was 5 of us in the band, and there were 6 people. We all lived in the apartment together, and we just sort of was like, hey, we will do anything for fucking money or food. Anything. Or it was great. Yeah, we had our lead guitarist stole a car and then used it to go beat a woman, and we had to put him in prison. So we could fucking do a true crime story on our old lead guitarist.
This episode's gonna be Leon's true crime experience. Why not?
Yeah, it was pretty great. Yes, It was awesome. I walked into my apartment and upon walking in was immediately thrown into my closet and put up against the wall by the cops because there was a teenage runaway at our house that I had nothing to know about because our lead guitarist was not a good person. But my God, could he shred? So.
But how were his biceps? You even do the same sit adjust thing that I do.
You say I do or I don't?
You do the same sit adjust.
Do you sit on your foot?
Yes. I need to stop doing that because my hip, I'm getting older. My hip does not like that I sit on my left leg as often as I do. So now I'm trying to do more like the, Indian
All
style.
right,
Which
Shakira, we get it. Your hips don't lie.
Go fuck yourself.
Admiral Beal coming in with that 5 banger.
What? I got my clips ready.
No, we appreciate it, Adam. Thank you so much because if anyone deserves it, it is Fox and Moxie over here. Way to go, brother. Much appreciated. We're gonna make this shit the fucking third best true crime show on YouTube. And I say third best because look, as much as I love Moxie and frankly love myself, ain't no one touching Nexpo or the Lazy Masquerade. Those two are gods.
I don't know those ones.
You don't watch Nexpo or Lazy Masquerade? Oh, girly, I got some shit to show you.
Bailey Sarian, Coffee House Crime, what's her name? Danielle Kirsty. And I recently found Rotten Mango.
I love Rotten Mango. Dude, Rotten Mango is great.
She grew on me. Like the first episode, I'm like,
I don't know if you that told me about her because I've only recently discovered her, but I don't know if it was you or someone else.
It's me.
I drink a lot.
Yeah, same.
Bottoms up, Buttercup.
Cheers. But yeah, at first when I started watching Rotten Mango, I was like, I don't know if I'm a fan of her delivery style. And then I'm like, okay, I'm in. So now like YouTube just pushes everything into my watch next. I'm like, okay, I'm down. She tells actually, you know what I appreciate about Rotten Mango versus other ones? She tells stories out of Asia, different parts of Asia.
That's all about Lazy Masquerade. Same thing, yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool. They're cases I've never heard of. They're recent cases too. And it's not like the same recycled thing. However, I will watch somebody telling the same story that I've heard multiple times just to see how they say it. Or if there's other
I do the same, dude. You can't tell me how many different versions of the Albert Fish story I've heard. Yes, Alice Smith, I'm a natural redhead. I just dye my hair. Moxie, on the other hand, she got that fucking like full thing going on.
No, this isn't totally natural. It's enhanced. Enhanced.
Fuck up, Moxie.
Enhanced. Shut up. I mean, it's totally natural. Leave me alone. I have green eyes and freckles and pale skin, so it works. And
you and I are among the biggest minority on the planet. Then, if we both, because you say you got green eyes, I'm pretty sure it's like less than 2% of the population have green eyes. So we're the real minorities. Marvel needs to start casting us in movies.
No, they're race swapping us out. Womp, womp, womp. Maybe because it is such a minority. We don't have a voice. We need more ginger voices. Not like Coppercap, because Coppercap, it does not represent me.
What the fuck is Coppercap?
You don't remember Coppercap? Hold on. This is derailing from a true crime stream into a shit show, and we'll be pulling it into the station here shortly, here, folks. But we have to pull up Coppercap.
Yeah, because I'm unfamiliar with Coppercap, and
Coppercap.
I have brown eyes that turn more green as I age. Dude, Mr. Scott, that's sick. Yeah, I'm actually very proud of my eyes. It's the only feature about myself that I like besides my hair because they're green, but there's massive gold flecks in them. I'm very happy with my eyes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it really irritates me. South Park would say that red-haired people don't have souls, okay? Because we do have souls, all right? And lately,
Homie looks like if you made like create a character in a video game and you chose the default Asian, but then radically altered everything else about him.
I see it.
Sorry, continue.
A fat ginger. By everybody lately, I've been being called a ginger. A fat ginger. By everybody at school.
This is Tim Pool before
really
he got famous.
You mean the Russian asset temple?
I'm gonna
that
say
shit?
shit because I am kind of pro Russia in regards to the Russia-Ukraine stuff. So,
But have you received monies, comrade?
this is an appeal to anybody watching in Russia. If you would like to send me money, I was born a ginger. I have no soul. I will take your whatever you call your Russian currency, comrade.
His forehead looks like it has a mouth. But yeah, Boosh. I didn't even see your comment yet, but it totally looks like a mouth. So there was a video of mine recently, and it was blocked in certain territories. I went and saw where it was blocked. It was blocked in Russia. Two of my videos actually were blocked in Russia. Maybe I was showing too much LGBT plus people content.
Fuck them.
Not allowed.
Fans, flamingos, friends of the family.
I like it doesn't, but it does really bad. Gingers have souls. I go to church. I'm a Christian. You don't know me. You're not God. You're not God. You don't know who has a soul and who doesn't. All right? I'm a Christian. So if you think I don't have a soul, you tell me. Otherwise, fuck you. Bitches, for real. I'm getting.
It's a really aggressive redhead. Holy shit.
Because he doesn't have a soul.
Checks
tired
out.
of everyone making fun of red-haired people.
You know what? The fury of the gingers. They're going to be fed up. It will be South Park. South Park is prophetic. They will rise up. They will reclaim what's rightfully theirs. RT, back me up.
He's not wrong, though. Like, growing up in elementary, middle school, I was a literal redheaded stepchild, and I got the shit bullied out of me for it. But it turned me into the proud, strong tranny I am today. So,
bold,
I'm
brave,
wondering how
beautiful.
many of your viewers that because there's been some overlap in our viewership here. There's people that I do not recognize from my chat, and I'm wondering how many of them might think I'm actually a fucking tranny.
Totally passable. You're good.
Like, ah, he's a ginger. He's a ginger. Ah. Really, that's funny. Yeah. Okay. I'm being called a ginger every single day at school.
Homie, you're a ginger.
I've contemplated suicide, all sorts of things. It pisses me off. Ginger people do have souls, all right? I'm red hair. I have red hair. I got red hair, and I'm proud of it. All right?
But
I consider ginger a very slanderous word, demeaning word, and I'm tired of it. Tired of it. You know, everybody else gets respect. I mean, black people, white people, Mexicans, everyone. Gingers, why do gingers have to be put down so much? Like, really, what's so different about us besides their hair color? Huh?
We get moonburn. That's what's different about us. I go out, I walk from building to my car, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna burn from that.
Dude, I like. Go on, sorry.
Ooh,
Why?
no, stupid freaking story about that. So I pay for my check mark because I can stream to X. Worth it. Yesterday, it was like, oh, you can't do XYZ. And I'm like, why can't I do XYZ? I've always been able to. And it's like, where the fuck is the blue check mark? I pay for this shit. I thought it's like auto renewal, and I can't find any like payment history to confirm the dates that I've already paid for it. So I had to re-up for another year yesterday, and it didn't take effect yet. So no stream on X. So lame. Oh my.
I mean, this I won't lie, for an inaugural episode, this stream has done remarkably well. Which is mad shout out to all you guys watching. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
My fucking first episode of Neon Leon, after I'd been streaming for about a year at that point, it's only got like 18 viewers. You got like fucking 42 watching you. I'm just like, mad congrats, girly.
Thank you. No, it's because you're here.
No, it's you and Hana.
No, you.
I'm an accessory. You and Hondo are the fucking stars.
Oh my goodness. So wait a second. Akiyamada sent me something. No, Adam Reveal sent me something. My bad. Sorry, I've got like too much going on. Downloads. There it is. Okay. Hold please. Told you I'm a mess. Bear with me. Stop. Present.
In the meantime, bullshit. I agree. Jay
Yes,
Goodwin
please.
is a mutant, but he's our mutant, and I appreciate that. Johnny Richards is 42 strong. Hell yeah, 42 of you guys out there being just bad bitches. We appreciate it. Yo, Leon Bush wants you to share his DM. I don't keep X open when I stream because I'm afraid of doxing people. I will check it real quick. Give me one moment here. But also, I am banned from X right now. I'm under a suspension.
For how long?
So, till somewhere between Monday and Wednesday.
Oof. What did you do?
Do you actually want to know? Because it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So I made a racist joke. And you know
Oh,
what?
dear.
The racist joke's not what got me suspended. Because fair enough. If it was the racist joke, I'd understand. That's totally fair. Underneath the racist joke, someone told me to kill myself. And I thought, that's funny. I'm going to play into this joke. Because they were being 100% serious. They did not like me. And so I started describing underneath their response all the methods to which to kill myself, which I think will be the most fun. And that's what got me banned. I was promoting self-harm. Motherfucker, someone told me to kill myself, and instead of being a whiny little bitch and reporting them, I played into it and made a joke out of it, and I got fucking banned for it. Bro, Elon, I love you, but to quote you, go fuck yourself. I fucking got Camelotted up in this bitch.
That's quite the story. And Camelot was suspended for months, wasn't he?
He's still suspended. He's on an alt account now.
I thought he got it back. Huh.
If he did, I'm not aware of that.
No, it must be just the alt. But yeah,
1980 Ray, the Discord is for members. You can join, even if you just do because I'm gonna be real, I'm a piece of shit, but it is what it is. Like I've already had to deactivate one of my socials because my information may or may not have gotten leaked as to where I am and whatnot. So there's a paywall to the Discord. You can join, then you can refuse to continue being a member. First time joining, you've got lifetime members for the Discord, but it is a members only Discord.
I can't find the oh wait, no, I did find the thing. It's whole place. Keep on. I have too many tabs. Too many tabs. Oh,
I've got several open, but half of them are tabs that you had sent me, and maybe I should have offered to help now that I think about it. But
yeah, what are you doing there, Leon? Oh, that's an unfortunate pause.
Bro, look at that 5 head.
Oof.
Wade Wilson's receiving an interesting number of messages from the outside. The Lee County Sheriff's Office says that Wade Wilson has received 3,903 messages since June 12th of this year. And that happens to be the same day he was convicted of killing Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz. Deputies say he's accepted 279 requests for communication, 754 pictures. The Sheriff's Office had to reject 163 of those pictures. Let's just say that they were inappropriate. He also got 65 letters. Now, Wilson's going to be sentenced on July 23rd, but here's the problem.
My sister's birthday.
Either asking for a new trial or an acquittal of Christine Melton's murder and 2 other charges. Wade Wilson.
Yikes.
So I guess we'll probably wrap on this then. Let's talk about the infatuation with. I mean, I say we'll wrap unless you got other plans or whatnot. You said earlier pulling the train to the station. So
we're almost 2.5 hours.
The infatuation of women with Wade Wilson, because this is a pretty crazy phenomenon, because that is what makes this case at the end of the day so wild. Like, yes, Marilyn Manson, for example, Charles Manson had his Marilyn Manson's cool too. Charles Manson, he had, his girlfriend that would write him letters and whatnot. But the reason this case is blown up, because at the end of the day, it is kind of an ordinary case. As much as it's whack to say, homie killing 2 folks ain't really newsworthy in the modern age.
Like strangle and ran over with a car. Not really all that. Like, it's not like an Ed Gein or, some of the others that were, or the toy box killer. It wasn't that. he didn't, you know, I mean, it doesn't sound like anything special, but like you're saying, it's not the methods of the murders that are making people go crazy, or crazy women go even crazier, rather.
Yeah, it is the fact that this is a very attractive individual who women
What do you
are
think?
willing to look past all the red flags for to send these letters of unrequited love that he is. Frankly, we didn't even touch on Kiosk Karen. You seem like you want to say something. Go on.
But what do you think of his biceps?
Honestly, kind of average. Like for a guy that's 6'6" and was able to strangle women, I expected more definition.
I mean, she was still alive, the second one. So weak.
Yeah. Homie couldn't even commit. Like, but yeah, no.
We are terrible people.
Well, when talking about a subject of this, this dark, it is, you gotta have your moments of levity. And yeah, I mean, you pull it right now. Prevent the death penalty for Wade Wilson. And it had what 25,000 signatures. And 115 people signed today. It's wild to me because I'm of the impression or of the thought process that once you commit certain unspeakable acts of evil, I would just think that the vast majority of folks. Hello, hi. I signed the petition because I think there it's more truth in Mr. Wade's case, which has still not been discovered. I don't want to kill innocent men. It's very tricky because I do follow, and I do think not all truth has been discovered. Save this young man from death. Let him live, even if he has to spend the rest of his life in prison. I'm against killing anybody. Like
there was an angle that he tried to imply that the cartels set him up.
Okay, I hadn't heard this. What the fuck? The cartels?
Oh, please. God damn it. This stupid case.
I again, like, ladies, I understand that I'm pretty sure I said at the beginning of the show, dudes like to sit their dick in crazy. There's like a pretty to crazy ratio that men are willing to accept. Women want to pretend that they do not have this same, sort of social structure. But when homie has 25,332 or whatever it was signing a petition to not kill him after he is effectively admitted to murdering these two women, y'all got to get some shit figured out because it's really hard to champion and defend women when y'all want to fuck dudes who will probably strangle you. And frankly, I'm kind of okay with that because at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of most women. In fact, repeal the 19th, all that shit. But Jesus fucking Christ, women, get your shit together.
Yeah. So I can't find it right now. I thought I had it in my show notes, but I don't. But that was one of his. He was talking to one of the news agencies, the local Fox News, and basically implying that he was set up by drug dealers on the outside.
I mean, he sent, I believe it was several hundred, if not several thousand, but at least several hundred correspondences to various news agencies stating, I will give you an exclusive interview if you put money on my books. Homie was trying to get paid for interview. That's not how this shit works. You murdered two women who, like, look, I'm not saying there's never a reason to murder a woman. I'm sure they exist.
Burnt spaghetti.
These women were unequivocally innocent, and you're trying to tell Fox 4 and multiple. Fox 4 is the one that did the initial phone interview, and then they were either going to come in for an in-person interview, or he tried to blackmail them, or not blackmail them, but like coerce them into doing one. The point is, he is so narcissistic that he thinks that his story, as unremarkable as it is, warrants endorsement deals and, there could be a Netflix documentary about me. Dude, you killed two people and you got caught relatively quickly afterwards after calling your dad like a little bitch asking to bail you out.
Send me an Uber, daddy.
Yeah, we're not going to get the
Drinking
next
my
making a
claws.
murderer out of the Deadpool killer.
Uh-uh.
Honestly, his name is even too much of a hype up. Like, yes, he's got the same name as the character, But beyond that, Deadpool's funny. I've listened to hours of audio logs of his phone calls. He's not even funny.
No, he's just a douchebag. That because he's 6'6", and women are like, oh, he's got dimples. He's had like a little privilege of an existence because women are retarded. Sorry.
You're
And he's
not going to
exploiting
hear
that.
any argument from me.
So AR here is reasonable. This is the most, and I mean desperate, bunch of women I've ever seen in my life, especially the ones that added the videos on this petition, which is very obviously just a ploy to be seen by Wade. Okay, y'all tried it, lol, but I see what you were trying to do there. The death penalty is deemed inhumane, but the two, not one, but two brutal murders are deemed an accident and supposedly rehabilitative. Girl, please, I don't really agree with death penalties, but at the same time, why does one that takes innocent lives like this deserve to resume theirs regardless of the circumstances? He deserves a chance, right? But the victims did not, clearly. Now, if this was an obese, middle-aged, balding man, you wouldn't see not even half of the support being poured out publicly from these women. Sure, I can see why y'all think he's handsome if you find a psycho Nazi like Jake Gyllenhaal. Really?
Damn,
Wait,
Jake Gyllenhaal is a pretty good comparison there. Well played, AR.
okay. With a touch of double homicide attractive, then sure, he got what he deserved, point blank, period. Whether death penalty or life in prison, his quality of life is now zero. He'll be sitting down in prison for a long time, but don't worry. I'm sure he'll be comfortable with all the money that I fully expect you fine ladies will be putting on his commissary since he has all your unwavering support. Rip, Christine, and Diane.
So, do you believe that he should like I think I know the answer, but I guess it's just a way to garner a conversation to sort of round this out. I mean, maybe we'll
Sure.
wrap it at like the 2.5 hour mark.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, because I gave mine, but I don't know that you actually gave yours. What are your thoughts on the death penalty, whether he should receive the death penalty, and whether you think it's even your thought whether it's warranted in this case?
In this case, I think it's warranted. I think the circumstances vary. I don't like the idea of the government being able to end your life just as a premise, but like you mentioned earlier, as far as like crimes with children, just totally the audacity, the lack of care, the willingness to do it again. Some I'm sorry, some people need to be put down.
Now, Florida is a unique state in that the reason people are petitioning and even his lawyers are making an appeal to have this overturned is because Florida does not require unanimous jury requests for the death penalty. You seem like
That
you have
was
something to
new.
say, you know where I'm going
That
with this. So
that just happened within like the past several months or a year.
yes.
It used to be unanimous. Now it's like 9 of 12. And wasn't that because of the Parkland shooter, which also we just had another high school shooting yesterday in Georgia. But the Parkland shooter, his parents were tried and convicted of manslaughter and all the things. This new kid, his father was just arrested on the same charges. So the Parkland shooter and subsequent charges for the parents was a concerning thing amongst the law tubers and the lawyers that talked on it, setting a dangerous precedent. I it's such a weird gray area to me. It depends because I know of some shitty parents that don't care about their kid. They don't keep things away from their kid. Like they're not in tune with the mental health of a child, but does that equate legal responsibility? Like I just feel like it's such a gray area for parents to be charged for the actions of their kid. Now, were they just like leaving firearms just willy-nilly all over the house? Some people do that. Were they not addressing concerns?
Pay no
about
attention to the giant sword behind me.
Yeah. Were they aware of mental health issues and just neglected the child? I don't know if I agree with manslaughter charges though for parents of children 14 to 17, 18 years old being charged with crimes, with the actual crime as if they had done it or been a party to it. I think it's I don't like it personally.
No, in that respect, I'm right there with you. As an advocate for personal accountability and as somebody that has failed at personal accountability growing up and has had to learn that lesson and really sort of like start to form a belief system around I fucked up. It is time for me to take responsibility, fix it myself. The idea that an overarching state can come in and say you failed at your job as being you failed your job being a parent based on arbitrary rules set by the state that have no, in my opinion, objective moral truths. I find that to be egregious. Now, yes, there's the argument of nature versus nurture, and these parents may or may not have done a bad job, but I don't think that you can use some sort of scientific, for lack of a better word, argument of nature versus nurture to literally put parents behind bars. Now, if you're doing something like cutting your child's cock off at 12 years old, okay, yeah, you should get put behind bars. But if your child decides to do something illegal, whether it be grand theft auto, murder, whatever it may be, you could have been the best parent in the world, and some people are just wired that way. Yeah, that's a very, I agree, that's a dangerous precedent to set. And I don't have a problem with Florida having the rule that it's 8 of 12 in this particular instance. So the Christine case and the what was the other gal's name? I'm blanking
Diane.
on it. Diane. So in one instance, the jury was 9 of 12 voted for death penalty. And in Diane's case, I believe it was 10 of 12, or maybe I have it flipped. Either way, it was 9 of 12.
It was more of them with the 100 times running over spaghetti one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got 9 of 12 and 10 of 12 in both instances. And again, the prosecution, as I stated at the beginning, made the argument that the death penalty is cruel, it's inhumane, that you only live once and that you should not snuff that out. It's such a... basically, I'm going to just boil it down to I have no qualm with Florida having this non-unanimous law, because 8 out of 12 is still 75% or something to that effect. Well, 75% of folk agree on something. That's what should happen in most instances.
I think people that are opposed to the government having the ability to end your life are the ones that go, no, it has to be unanimous. And I feel like that change to the majority happened specifically around the Parkland shooter case. I think it was because they wanted it. And it was just, I don't know. There were some shenanigans around it that made it go,
well, I think
weird.
That's a good change. I mean, maybe the situation that it spawned from was not a good situation, but the change itself, I'm not opposed to.
Okay. Makes sense. Appreciate your input. Final thoughts.
Well, first, before we get to final thoughts, the classic one says parents can't be buying 14-year-old guns. False. The right to bear arms under the American Constitution does extend to children. If you want to take your 7-year-old to the range, you can. It is also up to the parents to properly teach your children gun safety, gun etiquette, how to properly clean, maintain, and operate a firearm. But yes, parents can and frankly should be buying guns for their children, given that is one of our fundamental human rights, given by God, outlined in the Constitution. So I fundamentally disagree with your premise. However, are there going to be instances where that goes wrong because the child is fucked in the head? Absolutely. But living in a free society, that is a risk I personally am willing to take. Now, as for final thoughts, I think the outcome of the trial and that he was given the death penalty, or the death sentence, completely warranted. I have no issues with it. I'm actually more concerned about the social aspect of all of the deranged individuals that truly think he should be let off because of his looks. It harkens
individuals.
back
you
to,
just mean females, just females.
I'm not discounting homo men. So, speaking as the resident tranny, no. It harkens back to when I think about Nixon versus JFK, and obviously I wasn't around that time, but based on learning, studying history, everyone says that if you listen to the debate on the radio, Nixon won, but if you watch it on TV, JFK won, and that goes down to JFK being the better looking, presidential candidate. There has been a lot of for lack of a better word, privilege given to individuals who are attractive, and this fixation that we as people have to gravitate towards beauty is while it's a genuine natural human instinct, given, you know,
Mhm.
the needs to reproduce and whatnot, it's still worrisome when you get to cases like this and instances like this where the realm of logic is superseded by carnal desire. And
Well, I will push back on that before you go too
go
far
for
down
it. Go
that.
for it.
Because there have been many studies done with babies, infant children, having exposure to people with more symmetrical faces, more classically pretty faces. Their reactions are very telling as far as the natural response to something in our nervous system, right? Um, we are wired to have dopamine hits or certain types of feelings toward what we're wired to think is pretty.
Mhm.
So it's not just like from a reproducing standpoint. It's something that's ingrained into all of the things in there. And then it transfers over into perhaps the reproductive qualities or finding a mate, that kind of thing that, you know, shifts it into a different way. But it's always been there. You know,
You know, and that's totally fair. And yeah, I can agree with that. But the point is that that overriding an individual's logic, I think, is a worrying trend that we see in
yeah.
humans and have seen, whether it be crimes or presidential, elections. And so more than anything, dude should get the death penalty. I got no issue with it. In fact, I want the appeal to fail. But I think that there is a lot to worry about when it comes to the studying the folks that only want him to survive due to the fact that he's got a nice jawline. That's fucking terrifying.
'Cause he's hot. Yeah, it's
Maybe I'd feel differently if I had a nice jawline. I don't know.
or if you were 6'6" with the jawline.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
rub my
Are you
5'8", rub in my face that I'm 5'8". Fuck you, Moxie.
I'm just giving you shit. Stop it. But no, it is it's a worrying thing, and we haven't had it's celebrated, if we want to call this a celebrated killer, in a long time. I don't think we have anyway. There's the serial killers of yonder years that people are weird about, females are weird about. But this is kind of like a throwback to the like being enamored with not Dahmer so much, but Bundy.
Oh no,
Or
dude, there's Bundy vibes all over this case, 100%.
yeah, yikes. Anyway, I did post when he was convicted about the whole women that think he's just hot and all this stuff. I'm like, they can sit in the freaking chair and get zapped along with him for all I care. Bring it back, old freaking Sparky. Because bye, bitch.
Look, you can think he's hot. I got no issue with that because, I mean, objectively, he does have, like we were talking earlier, those symmetrical features. That being said, should his hotness override the fact that he should be getting fucking new breathing holes? No.
No. Thank you, Leon, for this crime of the month. We originally were talking about this time of the month and playing on the whole female and tranny and all that stuff. Angle, his journey with HRT. But we landed on that crime of the month because this is a true crime show, and we'll be back next month with a whole new case to talk about. So thank you, everybody. Thank you in the chat. Thank you, the mods. I always forget to thank the mods, and I'm just like, I'm terrible at this. But you guys are always awesome. And
thank you to everyone who super chatted and sent those gifties and became members. Someone else, who was it? Hold on, let me chat real quick. It was R2 Litu became a member all on his own, no gifties or anything. So mad shout out to you, and thank you so much, R2 Litu, for doing that.
R2. I love, because we hang out in AFK and stuff. I love that whenever I see something that R2 writes, I can hear it in my head. It's wonderful. I love it so much. But thank you, everybody. I love you all, and we will be back next month, first Thursday of the month. So see you in October. Bye. If I can click the button. Bye.